All right, we live, man. We is live, man. All right, so what's going on, people? We here. This topic is called Matriarchal Minded. Shout out to Doc T. Hassan Johnson. We had went on earlier, Ian, and I jumped on YouTube and I seen that Doc Hassan was still live. So I told Shane, I said, "Yo, man, we can't compete with the top spot, so we gonna have to jump off, all right?" But we in here, so hold on. Let me make sure my mic is right. All right. I don't want this audio to be off. I want the audio to go right through the camera. Y'all can still hear me, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, man. What's going on? I see you. So, yeah, man. So, you was talking about Blueface, Ian. What happened?
Yeah, so you know that what's the baby, right, with his chick, right? You remember what happened with him? Yeah, so Blueface just had the same situation happen with this IG model at his crib.
Well, she ain't want to get out.
She ain't want to get out.
Crazy.
She ain't want to leave. And the thing is, I mean, because we was on another stream the other day, we was talking about Kevin Samuels doing the interview with Brittany Renner, and people was like, "Yo, man, you giving these hoes voice," but it's like, no, he's exposing them because the whole mystique around these IG models and shit is going way down. You know what I'm saying? It's disappearing. You know, niggas is just seeing these as just regular thoughts, and they really ain't idolizing them like that no more. So they're like, "Yo, man, we did our thing. You got to get ghost." You know what I'm saying? But these chicks is like, "Oh, you know, you still supposed to have a spell on this shit." You know.
I mean, there ain't nothing special about them IG models. You know what I mean? The ones that be making the most money, they be getting in some stuff that women, if they only knew, wouldn't want to have no parts of. I mean, shoot.
Yeah.
If they wanna fly out to Dubai and get a douche shot on them, that's them.
But you know, and that's the thing, you know, when we was talking about what do they bring to the table, and I was saying, you know, we got to ask, you know, as far as what they bring, we got to ask, one of the things that they bring is their troubles. So, troubles do you bring to the situation? So it's like with Brittany Renner, so people was like, "Oh, you giving voice to Brittany Renner?" Brittany she just did a live, you know what I'm saying? And she was crying and breaking down, talking about, you know, how her mother cared more about black dick than she did her. So it's like, man, you know, that's what you got to ask these chicks. Like, yo, man, what is your family pedigree? What is your situation? You know, as far as your mental health goes. Let me at least get you the rundown on what issues you have mentally and shit. You know, like my ex-wife, man, I didn't even know. So we having all our issues right before we split up. This chick she goes to the doctor. She gets diagnosed with fucking schizophrenia. Like, oh, so for all this time I've been dealing with this shit.
That's the downside of pretty privilege, man. The cuter these women are, the more screwed up they are.
Yo, shout out to everybody in the chat. Dave Tao, I see you. D Scott, I see you. You know, everybody hit the chat. Let me know you in here. I see people. I see the number, but I don't see who's in here. So, you know, put a wave hand up, right? Now, Shane, you was talking about, you said you can't see how dudes can be simps, right? So I want you to talk about that, and then we're gonna go into that for a second, because this one is called Matriarchal Minded. And you know, and when I say we, I do mean black men, we have this thing where we are unique in the fact that we worship our women, and you know, this is not, you know, by accident. So Shane, you was talking about simps.
Yeah, to me, it seems like an oxymoron. You know, you got the simps and the hoteps and stuff. They proclaim themselves to be real men because, you know, they pretty much devalue themselves more than anybody else.
Mhm.
They wear their devaluing like a badge of honor, you know. Like, I'm a real man because I don't require a man. I'm a real man because I don't require a woman to have to come out her pocketbook for anything. And it's like, oh, okay, so you're gonna pay for all of her responsibilities, no matter what it is. It's like even her screw up. She get into a car accident. You gonna pay for her ticket or whatever it is. It's all on you because you a real man. You know what that's gonna do? It's gonna open up the door for her to take advantage.
I wonder how much of this is capped though. Like, you know, I was talking to
Listen, I got a friend. He told me his ex chick got this one dude paying her mortgage. You know, and she makes more than she makes. You know, she making almost six figures. You know, and she got this dude paying her mortgage just to fucking date her. And then he said,
"Go ahead."
Huh?
No,
And
go ahead.
then he said he be sliding in over there to fuck her every now and then, and she ain't even gave up the drawers to this nigga that's paying the mortgage every month.
So don't think that I think shit like this doesn't happen, because I know it happens. Right? You know, I've been in the game and I know long enough, and I know girls, you know, we talk about it all the time, who get money from men that they never met and live off of that. Like, you know, guys that, you know, send women that they never met or they never will meet money on the internet. To be honest, I figure that's what that whole Mercedes Moore shit was old boy was sending old girl money from Miami. And one day he wanted a return on his investment.
Yeah.
And you know, I mean, he may or may not have smashed before, but he wanted something more. And the reason why I say he might have smashed is because there was no like sexual
forced entry.
No. When he went over there, you know, they found her dead or whatever, and there was no proof that he sexually violated her or assaulted her or anything like that. Why steal what you already had, right?
Okay.
Usually when guys do all of that, is usually they want to fuck, right? This guy wanted more than that, right? But you know, matriarchal minded, you know, lately, you know, I ain't gonna say no names, but you know, I've been getting into a lot of back and forth with, you know, black men, either guys who are simping real hard, or guys who tend to be, you know, come across red pill and then say things that kind of go against their normal shit. So, you know, lately, you know, I was going back and forth about what do women bring to the table. I was in a discussion about that, and you know, one of the guys on FB was like, it's feminine to ask that question. And I said, it's feminine not to, especially in an environment where we are constantly being asked, what do we bring to the table? And I feel like, you know, if you're a guy who brings shit to the table, you got your shit together, and somebody's coming to ride on your coattails, you should be able to ask. You know, you should be able to ask, what's in it for me? Even if it's not material. Like, what you're asking for ain't got nothing to do with material. You're not asking her to pay, or maybe you are. I don't listen. All this real man shit, I don't care if what you're asking for has something to do with kicking in bread. I'm a major believer in, if she earns an income, then you got to kick in, shorty. Or because then your money that you making, if your money that you making is not contributing to the household, you might as well stay your ass home, because you're giving somebody else time to not contribute to the situation. Now, unless Bezos or somebody, and my money like totally outweighs your income, right? This is what I'm saying is for the average guy.
Right.
The average guy can't operate on these what do you call it? High level, high value man shits.
Right.
To the chat and to y'all, let me know if my audio is off because it feels like it's off. But at any rate, what I'm saying is, if you're the average guy and you got a woman living with you and she making money, talking about you got to pay everything, and all of this manhood based on income. It's like saying, well, if you're a woman and you don't do the typical things that we demand of women, then are you a real woman?
Right.
Appreciate that, Torrance. Right. So I'm saying if we're going to base your manhood on a provision, then you got to base womanhood off shit. Right. It can't just be because you're present. And what we've been saying is, I tell people I'm a man by birthright. I don't have to earn my manhood because we don't make women earn their womanhood. They are women by birthright, right? So if I got to buy your submission or I got to buy my masculinity, if we're basing it off income, like, oh, if you don't make a certain amount of money, you're not a man. Or if you ain't busting your ass to pay for everybody and pay, nobody lives for free. We're not in the 50s no more. Again, black men are the only group of men that let their women dictate to them what manhood is.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And that's the real issue that we're not even addressing. I mean, we could debate all the all the pros and cons, in terms of what our role should be. But the real power we giving up is the power to define. We're letting them define. And if you let them define, who gives a shit about all the details? You know what I'm saying? You gave up the most important aspect.
Yeah, man.
It's all about at the end of the day, it's about a fair deal. You know what I'm saying? Because when it comes to the whole, what do you bring to the table discussion? I mean, as men, we already know just off rip, we bring in at least 30% or more of something, because everything that we do has to have some sort of value behind it. Whereas women, they think that they could just exist and then take, and then that's all they're bringing to the equation is consumption. But the thing is, it's like, I think as men, we should require, or at least put it out there, what do you bring to the table? Because best believe, give it time, a woman, it's not if a woman takes advantage, she will. A woman will be coming to your space to see what she can get and walk away from free of charge.
But that's what they've been told, bro. We have told them either through society or, again, you got men telling them every day that it is a function.
Relationship wise, either. I mean, even if this is why men and women can't be friends, because not just because the whole sexual attraction may or may not get in the way. It's just the fact that the nature of women is to get what they can get for free. So it's like, even if you got this girl that you claim is your best friend or whatever, trust and believe she's getting some shit for free. She is getting some shit for free that she don't have to, or at least she feels entitled to, that she doesn't have to reciprocate.
Yeah, but that's reinforced, bro. Understand, you can't listen. You could believe what you want. You could believe that your 1990 Chevy is worth 40 grand, but the environment won't support your belief. And what we have here, hence the title Matriarchal Minded, is you got women who have a belief that's reinforced by the culture and the men in that culture. Right? I often ask people, like, yo, if you got a dog, right? If you have a pet, you got a dog, and that dog can sit on the couch and that dog can do whatever that dog wants to do, right? And you go to work and you come home and you feed your dog and you pet your dog, right? How does that dog know who the boss is? How? How does that dog know who the boss is?
The dog knows because if the dog step out of line, it's going to get hurt.
No, that's if. Understand?
Mhm.
If we live in a culture that says you can't hurt women no matter what. Right? So if we put out there, no matter what your dog does, you got to accept it. If that's the culture, then how does the dog know who the master is? Now, yeah, we can say, yeah, if your dog fuck up, he get hurt, but you can't say that about women. See how you sound. Right? So understand, you're an abuser at that point, right? Because you say, hey, she fuck up, you know? And there's guys that live by that. They live by that, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do we call them? We say they.
What do we call them?
I mean, we call them abusers.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
So you got to apply that logic to the dog example. The dog example. If it was illegal to, well, it kind of is, but let's say hitting your animal, disciplining your animal was totally against the law. Like if your dog could call the police on you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who's to tell that dog who the master is? What we have created is a culture where our women feel like they're better than their men. No other culture operates like that.
Mm-mm.
The black woman is God and queens and all. We sometimes talk about the kings, but a lot of times we say the word king in an ironic or joking fashion, right? We was kings, or kings this and kings that, right? Which I think is all stupid because every society had a king or a queen. But my thing is, we in the black community, we have queens and no kings, right? It's almost disrespectful to say king, right? By the time you hear king, if you hear from a woman, you think she's kind of like trying to patronize you or play on your ego, right? But you say queen and it's normal. We have created that, right?
Yeah, you got the women that call themselves queens and they really believe the shit. But it's like the few dudes here and there that call each other kings and stuff, they don't really believe what they saying.
But bro, this is the thing, right? If we didn't support these women's belief, it wouldn't work, right? It's beginning a little bit to fall apart. Like now it goes to shaming tactics, right? Where you got guys like Umar saying, that our women are marrying later or not marrying at all, and they're putting it on us without examining why. Nobody asks, well, why are the men doing what they're doing? Why? We have a right to refusal, especially when it comes to wedding rings. They have a right to refusal when it comes to sex. We can refuse to put rings on it. Do we not have a right?
We do.
Yeah, of course. So let's talk about how we got here, right? Let's talk about how do you raise a generation of simps? How do you do it? I mean, think about all the things that is happening. We talk about single motherhood and things like that. You remove the guy and his influence, the dad's influence from raising men, and then you assert your influence. It's like, again, the dog example. You train your dog, right? Your dog takes to the training like most people do, and they learn that what you taught them is the way. If you tell men everything that they have to do for women, and then you tell women that they don't owe men shit in return for this good treatment, in return for their provision and their submission. I mean, their provision and protection. You tell them that they don't owe anything back. You raise a bunch of women who feel like their presence is a present, and a bunch of men who feel in debt or in subordinates to women. This is a matriarchal thing. Graves, I don't hear you.
Yes. Well, I think that in a lot of ways, especially with the PhD chicks, they think that
You there?
in the traditional relationship. I think
You
they're
might gotta say
interested
that
in
out.
just having someone
You
there to
did
have
come
sex
through.
with when they come home and to rub their feet, and
We
then
missed
for
that.
them to go back to their job and be superwoman.
Ian, you blacked out for a second.
Oh shoot! Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think in a lot of ways that Black women are not interested in traditional relationships whatsoever. I think what they just want a man to fuck at night and then to rub their feet and then, to go back to work and play superwoman with that PhD shit.
Mhm.
I
They had a cake and eat it too. That's really what it comes down to. And not only that, not only do they want to have their cake, but they don't even want to have to cut the slice of cake for themselves.
But they've been taught to do that. This is the same way men have been taught simp behavior. These women, I was on a stream with Bit of Truth Show, right?
Mhm.
And we were on, and there was a woman on the panel, and we were talking about women, Black women who go to school.
I literally used to work,
and they don't meet their husbands in college, right?
Mhm.
So I asked her, why does she think that is, right?
Mhm.
And she's like, I'm trying to remember what her point was. She said some things that didn't really line up. And I was like, understand that when Black women go to get their degree, is because, they've been told this educated Black woman stuff. They've been hearing this stuff. They understand, or they've been told that that's positive, positive as far as being career women, being modern women and stuff like that. This is an ideology that's been taught to them. Now, some women is like, fuck that, I want to be a wife. And those women are wives. What you will eventually achieve what it is that you're chasing, right? If you chase a career, you'll have a career. If you chase a family, you'll have a family.
Mm-hmm.
And these women have been told, they've been sold on being career women, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they get their careers first. They're taught to prioritize being career women over being family women, and that's why they brag about being career women and all the things that come with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
If they're career women, because a lot of these women that go to school, they get their little bullshit degree that ain't about nothing. A lot of these girls, their education ain't in shit.
Right.
So I told her, because she said, well, the reason we go get degrees is so we're self-actualizing, and that's the term she used.
Mm-hmm.
We're self-actualizing, our education and this and that and ourselves or whatever. Now, mind you, you're educated or you're a smart woman, and there are smart women.
Mm-hmm.
There are women who have talents. And if you want to go to school and progress in those areas, I ain't mad. Just understand that career men make sacrifices chasing their careers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Our absence from the home while chasing a career, if we have a family in our 20s or even in college or whatever, is evened out by the presence of a wife, right?
Mhm.
So while you're chasing your career, who's taking care of home?
Right.
So you pretty much got to do that as a single person. They're trying to be the man and the woman, right? Or at least they're trying to be the man. So they do all of this stuff, and then they want to get with men, quote unquote, on their level after the fact, or they'll deal with dudes beneath them and relish in the fact that they beat out some man at a man's game.
Mhm.
See, women, black women in particular, are socialized in our spaces to compete with their men. No other women do that.
Right.
Women are not competing like that.
Right.
You
You know,
know,
and that's the same thing that April Mason was saying. If you've heard, you know, because she came on, was talking about that self-actualization shit. You know, talking about my career helps me to to become a better wife. You know, at 50 years old, she has the pick of the litter in her own words now, because she's self actualized, and she's a wise woman, and she's able to offer the man wisdom.
I cracked up when she said that because she just showed how delusional she is. She's just as just as delusional as the women that she says she can't stand trying to help.
Right. She
I
is.
mean, yeah, she's practically on what you said, almost 50,
Yeah.
and she says she's got the pick of the litter as
Yep.
if she is the gatekeeper to relationships.
Yep.
Mm.
Yep.
Only if she could hear herself.
Only. But the thing is, and she kind of just skirted past it, but a lot of her money comes from, like she said, family business. You know, some shit that was passed down. It's like you're not even a self-made chick. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Like you're inheriting. You know what I'm saying? Shit, and then talking about, you know, you need to be a career chick. You know what I'm saying?
well, let me say this real fast. For as much as women in general talk about how great they are, and they're always patting themselves on the back, being in competition with men. One thing that had never still occurred to them is men. They're too busy being in competition with men, while men are in competition with nature, the world. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We are competing with the ability to transcend into the next millennium, the next eon. You know what I mean? But women, they're trying to copy us. So with that being said, they're never gonna get past what we can do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Well,
Period. They
in a
can't
lot
see
of
that
ways,
far.
they're not acknowledging the fact, like I said, in Abram Mason's case, most of what they get comes from men, you know, from their fathers and so on and so forth. And that's the thing that these feminists have not acknowledged, that their wealth came either from a black a man, you know, his pension, his life insurance, you know what I'm saying, all that type of shit, and like you just inheriting some shit, and now all of a sudden you a boss and shit, you know what I'm saying, like how does that work?
Never, just like women don't build anything, they'll never be a titan in anything either.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That's just facts.
Yes, facts.
You'll never see it anywhere in history where you can go back and be like, oh, this woman did this one thing, and without this thing, part of civilization will crumble.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's not a woman that has ever existed that had held wisdom and understanding to that level.
Right. Yeah, they just got a degree and shit, you know.
See, the thing about these women that I find interesting is they do themselves and the next generation a disservice. No women outside of our community are foolish enough to handicap their own men, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Even Asian women, they talking about black women the most educated, when more Asian women are, you know, going for these STEM degrees and things like that. And then these same Asian women that bring home these salaries go back to their men and exist in a patriarchal household.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't base their husband's income on his manhood, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, these simp niggas will say, oh, you ain't no man because you can't, blah, blah, blah. And blah, blah, blah has everything to do with how much money you bringing in, right? How do black women plan to in you know raise the value of the men in their in their peer group to benefit from the increased value of the men in their peer group by undermining them, not only for their own generation but their daughters? If you want your men to be high value, to be able to provide and protect, and this is something white women understand, you don't undermine your men, you empower your men, right? Because that's how you end up with a society that progresses. Because like you said, women don't build nothing, they don't really produce anything, they just thrive in the environment created by men. So if you want to thrive, as opposed to hindering, see, this is why I say black women practice white supremacy, is because white supremacy is based on the idea of hindering other groups so that you can reign supreme. In the black community and in black culture, black women live on the hindrance of black men. So in their mind and in their ego, they can reign supreme. Oh, we're doing better than you. We got houses, we got money, you don't.
Mm-hmm.
Understand that they are perpetuating this thing that they pretend to be mad at, or pretend, or we gotta be the man in the relationship. Yeah, but you're saying this based on hindering and handicapping men from young. You raise weak men on purpose,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
You do everything in your power to make your man as weak as possible, so he doesn't not just compete with other patriarchal groups, but to compete with you,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
You being black women, so you weaken your own men, and you therefore handicap the progress of your own peer group by handicapping your men.
But the thing is, they're not going to admit that they're handicapping us. What they're going to say, they're going to be like, oh, you just need to be a man. That's their whole thing. Like, we're not doing shit to you. You just need to be a man, type of
It's
shit.
an exercise in masochism, really, because they do all this stuff that inadvertently hurts them in the long run, and they refuse to see it, because the thing is, they don't want to admit that if they actually work with us, that they would thrive exponentially more than
Well,
they do
well,
with
well.
anyone else.
There's an ongoing debate in the manosphere, right? Are hoes winning? That's like the next that's like the next issue to solve. Are hoes winning? You know what I'm saying?
I saw Danny and them talking about that. To my
Yeah,
hoes winning.
yeah. No, man. Listen, it's been a knockdown drag out, bro. I've seen it. I seen it with my own eyes. I seen
You said, "Oh, hold
BGS and what's his name was going at it. They was cussing each other out and shit. Like,
Who's
yo,
that?
this is a serious issue, bro. So
Who's cussing each other out? Who's that?
BGS and grown man.
mm,
Grown man business. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they squash it or whatever. But so Ramil, grown man, Logic, these guys are like, okay, hoes are winning. Manosphere's got these old talking points and shit. You don't understand hoes is winning. So, but to some degree, they have a point in saying that women, well, particularly black women, right? They are winning because their idea of winning in our estimation is losing, right? To any sane individual, they're losing, right? Everything they're doing to handicap us definitely, like Shane said, handicaps them. But in their eyes, you know, even if they're hoeing and sucking dicks and making little money, as long as they're independent of men, that's a win for them. And so Ramil and them is saying, "Lo, we can't be the ones to tell them that they're what they see as a win is not a win. We can't say, you know what, you guys are losing, so you can stop what you're doing. You know, they're not gonna take our word for it as far as what a win is and what is not. They're willing to live subpar lives and call that a win. They are.
Like I said, an exercise in masochism.
Yes.
Well, it's also an exercise in narcissism. Understand, right? Understand. Their view of winning is this perception of independence and freedom, and if they make $1 more than you, right?
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, they don't want their money to be spent supporting themselves. They want someone else to support them. But you're defeating your own purpose, right? I see you, Brandy. You're defeating your own purpose because you're hindering your men from doing the very thing that you need them to do. You want provision and protection.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know how they love to say, "I can do bad all by myself." When you listen to that phrase, you got to think about how stupid it actually sounds. You know what I mean? It's like how big of a moron does a person have to be?
Right, because they actually are doing bad.
To say.
They're saying,
well, yeah,
you are doing bad.
Why would you want to? Well, don't you want to do better? I mean, their mentality is a slippery slope because they have such disrespect for black men, that they just look at black men is just something negative all the time. The antithesis, the opposite of doing bad by yourself is not doing bad with somebody else. It's doing better with somebody else.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But they don't think about things in those types of terms.
Right. And that's what Kevin Samuel's trying to drum home. He's like, yo, chick, you need 2 incomes, motherfucker. Stop playing.
Yeah. I mean, he even said that a man with a solo income in this day and age is not a good thing. I mean, let's look at the facts.
Yeah.
In this day and age.
Yeah.
Man or woman, you can't get to the other end of life comfortably by yourself.
Right.
No, men do it all the time. The thing is, let me tell you. Again, we built society up. We've made it easier for women, and they still fumble the ball, right?
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, again, you're hindering the men from giving you the very thing that you're saying you're not getting, right? You're sacrificing your men's ability to protect and provide, and then you're saying y'all not protecting and providing for us, right? Okay, you're competing, right? To be honest, when men are in a position to protect and provide, these ain't even the men that they choose because, like you guys already said, they don't want to be under a guy. They want that perception of freedom that comes with having their own money. But it's like a dog chasing its tail, right? It's like a circle jerk, right? Where, the thing you want, you're preventing it from happening. But if you get it, you really don't want it, right? Because you don't want to be under the thumb. A lot of women tend to avoid, and I've seen this not only in my family, but in other examples, they tend to avoid men who are in the position to get them what they want.
Right.
Because they know that it comes with a certain level of reciprocation, and the reciprocation that's expected, they've been taught that it's oppressive. So
it comes with more than that. It comes with a certain level of respect. and
yeah,
and that's the certain. I don't know what it is, but black women need to figure out how to get past their disdain of the idea of respecting black men, because you can't have a general conversation with them without them wanting to, out of hand, be disagreeable just for the sake of being disagreeable.
Mhm.
There could be no problems had in a conversation, but they gotta be snarky and sassy and all this other stuff, and think that being belligerent is basically showing that they have a difference of opinion. And it's like, well, men don't do that with each other. You know what I mean? Men can disagree without being disrespectful.
because like Kevin Samuel said, there's a threat of violence. Let me read some of these comments, right? So Cortez Smith says, look at all the women in LA who are young, homeless, single mothers because they'd rather be homeless than submit to a black man, right? So something else, let's see here. So black women are the most educated among their race. Even that's not true. It's Hispanic women. That I didn't know. Shout out to Cortez Smith for that comment, right?
I thought it was Asian women, but it's whatever.
Asian women are they more educated than Asian men?
No.
No. Mm-mm. So I'll say it like it is. Black women want to have kids, but still be free to pop.
I ain't heard that one in a while. Pop.
Right? Yeah. So, listen.
They don't want no kind of consequences at all.
Yeah. So yeah, he is right. Just look at how young men approach black women to date. The first conversation is with her arguing. So, understand that they black women have been taught that anything feminine is weak. So if they arguing with men, it shows strength. Oh, you can't handle a black woman, so you're weak, right? Because you can't handle us. Asian women ain't saying that. Latino women ain't saying that. White women ain't saying that. Oh, you're weak because you don't want to argue with me. Now the thing is on Facebook is you're a weak man if you argue with women. Have y'all seen this?
No.
Yeah.
No real man wastes his time arguing with women. Well,
that's all they do. You
why
can't have
do
a conversation with a black woman without it turning into an argument.
Why do you initiate arguments with men if they're weak for responding to you? Then if we don't respond to you, then we're oppressive patriarchs. My man name is Patriarch Turner. That's a fire screen name. So we will never have total respect from these bellow mediocre women that dominate our community. There's too many weak brethren who cater to these obese broads. Check this out. I came across a comment. I posted it on my Facebook page with this girl said, I wish I pulled it up in here so I could post it, right? But she said that, she would never marry the average black man, right? I'm gonna see if I can find it on my page so I can read it verbatim. She said, let me scroll up. She says, let me see. Okay, me marry the average black man. Oh, honey, I'd rather die alone with my 5 chihuahuas, all named after the Jacksons. So that means if you marry a black man, he has to be above average. I'm seeing dudes online talking about what men can't do for women, and understand that black women are not asking black men for support necessarily, being able to support families, because black women don't want to talk to men that are making 70, 80,000 a year. You're talking about high value 6 figures. 70, 80 ain't 6 figures, but it's enough to support a family, right?
I mean, that's decent money.
What they want is they want basketball wives. They want to be a basketball wife. You want the TV shit. You want the TV shit. That's what you want. So, you want the TV shit.
I was just thinking, of all the times that men try to ask women what they bring to the table, if women was to like ask men that same question and then honestly listen, they wouldn't be able to respond. Like if you ask a man that is worth his salt, he ain't even got to be a high value man. What do you bring to the table? And he starts listing off the stuff that he's capable of doing to make it from one end of life to the other, not just for himself, but his family and his community. A woman won't be able to hold a candle to that if you think about it honestly.
But then when they meet the 6-figure high value man, they don't even submit to you when you come with the things that they say you gotta come with.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even do that. You know what I'm saying? You think these dudes that are making 6 figures have submissive women?
I think the dudes that have women on that caliber, those women obviously they are there for hypergamous reasons, but they also have an understanding that they can lose their position real fast. They can get replaced just as fast as they were put there. I actually saw this post on social media, and it was from a black woman, and she was talking about, and this is how she started it. I don't know where niggas think they get off believing that they deserve a submissive woman. Now, the fact that so many black women refer to black men as niggas shows you right then and there that they ain't about really trying to have the best outcomes. Because they just lack the respect.
See, the N-word doesn't bother me as much as this, right? And I'm going to say this, right? Because we say nigga, nigga, nigga. I say nigga all day. Understand this, right?
It's not so much the word, it's the intent.
I got you, but understand this, right? When you're the high value man, these chicks will dance on the tables in your restaurant, right? They'll call you the wannabe. You want to be white man. So you own your own business, you making money. You just want to be a white man, right? This is after you become the guy that they said they'll be submissive for, right? You'll want to be white man, right? Right now, you look at these women. They, a lot of them have these kids with these, these low budget Negroes, right? These low budget Negroes that they like. We know who they like, right? That they don't make these demands for. Because for a couple of reasons they can control them, and these guys are an easy source of sperm, right?
Yeah.
So these guys, the ones that do most of the ass whipping and the murders and all that shit, right? Whenever you hear black women complaining overall about black men, and as soon as you hear the complaints are always characteristic of this black male demographic. They never complain about the high value man and what he did to them or what this, that, and the other. They call him, wannabe white man or conquered black man because they can't get the high value man to submit to them the way the low budget fuckboy will. But when you hear them complain about black men, Doja Cat has a song called Niggas Ain't Shit. The lyrics go, niggas ain't shit, run up in your crib, all up in your fridge. Who that sound like? It ain't high value, man. If that's your experience, homegirl, then you fucking with the wrong niggas.
Mm.
I ain't never been up in no chick fridge. All up in her crib, all up in her fridge.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? You got an issue with Ray in them. That's who you describing. Anytime I hear women complain about black men, they go right into describing fuck boys, low budget niggas who need them.
Right.
They don't complain about nobody else.
Nope.
So let's read some more comments. Okay, the fact that they have so much venom for average men shows that they hate men in general. Notice they'll call you the N-word when they get mad, like their white massa. Tyrone and Pookie. Right? So black women intentionally lump all of us in with Pookie and say good men do it too. Therefore, it looks like the only option black women have is bad men. Right? Understand this, right? And this is in reference to this comment, right? When black women talk positively about black men, they reference Pookie and Ray. He got the best dick. He got all the swag. You know, the
He'll protect me.
They protect. They specifically say the street dudes and the thugs protect you. I don't know who they protecting you from, because it obviously ain't, high value 6-figure niggas, right? It ain't them. But then when they complain about men, first of all, they say black men. They don't say thugs. They never specify thugs.
Nope.
When they are complaining about black men. But it's only when you hear the actual complaints, what behaviors they're complaining about, that's when you get a better picture of where their problems stem from.
Yeah, they generalize us negatively all the time, but they also complain about being generalized the same way.
Yeah. So the funny thing is, as much as black men will say, like, because we never pretend that there are not problem black men. We just tell women that's the motherfuckers y'all choosing first, right? Now you tell these chicks, they lump themselves in with the ratchet black women by celebrating ratchet culture, right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't celebrate Pookie culture.
Mm-mm.
You only do that if you're Pookie or you aspire to be Pookie, right?
Yep.
These females, they can be middle class or educated or whatever walk of life they come from, but they admire the ratchet.
Well, that's what April Mason said. She said, okay, chick. So you 50 years old, right? You got your degree, I assume, I guess, or whatever. You a boss chick. You got your businesses and shit. So she talking about she got a stripper pole in her bedroom.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah. She's on there with the lead attorney.
Yes.
Man. You know what's also a trip too? I find it rich how there are some black women that also complain about experiences that they ain't never had. You know
that's
what I'm
all. That's
talking
all
about?
of them. All of them do that.
They will complain and say, "Oh, black men do this and black men do that," and they ain't never had an experience like that in their lives. But they want a total party line about dragging black men through the mud.
Well, you know what part of what that comes from, and this is what I wanted to get into, is that the pro-black movement has destroyed black relationships, right? Because we have allowed black women to take the forefront in the movement for civil rights and black rights, when in all honesty, black women have not borne the brunt of that. So now when you get Rosa Parks, right, who basically was set up, by the civil rights attorneys, was sent in, right? So you got her as a hero. Like, no, chick, you basically got paid to go not go to the back to the back.
Dang.
They was paying you, motherfucker, to
You
sit
know,
up front. You know, so
it's kind of sad to see how much black women just mess stuff up all by themselves with no help from nobody. Look,
well, no, but
look at the last Million Man March.
Oh yeah,
You call it that.
yeah.
That you saw what happened to that whole thing, right? It was just completely diluted from its intent.
Yeah. Well, you know, that's the thing is, so when these chicks have basically, the society has basically told them, you know, you are the poster child, right, for civil rights and for freedom and all this type of stuff. Now they're taking that same sentiment into relationships. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, their sense of power comes from a sense of overinflated importance and victimization, right? So but then they learn, okay, power means pretend like I'm a hero, pretend like I'm a victim or an underdog, right? So that has been ingrained in them through our culture, you know, through pro-black culture, and so they take that same sentiment into relationship with black men, you know, because they want to one up black men, so they're like, okay, I'm pro-black now, and that means being pro-black means I'm the number one underdog. That's what they have been taught, you know, and all along, you know, the experiences of black men, you know, getting shot getting incarcerated in the millions, that goes unnoticed and untalked about, you know. And so the same thing in relationships, our experiences are you know, our negative experiences and our victimization at the hands of black women are not even talked about or heard about, because she needs to be the underdog.
Understand, I just want to correct you on something, Ian. We didn't let them be the forefront of shit. They never needed our permission. Understand that they have major media. They would, you know, black women were given the cover of Rolling Stone. We ain't do that.
Yeah.
We ain't do that. We didn't build that statue with the black woman with the Black Panther outfit and the beret.
Right.
We ain't do that.
Right.
That ain't us.
Right.
I'm willing to blame black men when they're responsible for black female behavior.
Yeah.
But understand, we didn't get him that.
Yeah.
That you understand. I got a young girl telling me every time I look and I turn on TV and I see the march or the protest or whatever, I see women.
Right.
Niggas ain't holding the cameras.
Right. But it was a fact that majority of those marches, it was even the 50 or 60%, 70% men, but they didn't get the coverage.
Of course, that's why the cops is out there with the rubber bullets. They not out there for a bunch of females. They not in riot gear because they think the women are gonna riot and tear shit up. That's not what they're there for. Mind you, when the NFAC, the not fucking around crew, started doing they shit, you know who clowned them?
Who?
The women. Okay, remember the black dude that he tried to remember the black dude tried to do the protest
with the guns.
No, not that, right? Something else, right? The black dude tried to do the boycott of the Asian beauty supply place.
Yeah. With the bricks.
Yeah, he threw the brick through the window, right?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Remember he got arrested and you remember what the Asian man did, right? He put weaves half off or some shit like that.
What?
Was lining up around the block.
And there was black men outside of that shit protesting, and the black women going into that place cursed the black men out to get their 50% weave.
Did you see a video of a black of them cussing?
Huh?
Did you see a video of that?
Yeah. Yeah, it's online.
Oh wow, that
So
would probably be one of the hilarious things I've ever seen.
I'm gonna read some more of these comments, right?
Now, if that don't teach a black man not to be a simp, I don't know what will.
Listen, bro,
Just to know that whatever you try to do
but
for your queen is just gonna get thrown out in the dumpster.
you train these guys, you train men from young to worship women, and that's what they're gonna do. Men are human. We're like anything else. We can be trained. We learn religion. We learn all these things.
Mhm.
We watch media. We see black men, on media in a negative image, and so we believe that about ourselves.
Mhm.
They say this at all. Such and such percent of black men are in jail, and all these TV shows, these talk shows where they used to have a panel of black women talking about ain't no good men out here, this and that and the other. Let me catch up with some of these comments. I want to read some of these comments, right? I ain't super chat yet, but so I read everybody's shit, right? So Cortez says, because they know if they specify thugs, then people will see that they always choose thugs, then they'll be criticized for ignoring good men. I don't know if they do that on purpose. I think that they specify thugs to put down the guys who aren't thugs, and then they have to eat their words later because then they'll eventually need those men in the protection. Like, because who are thugs protecting you from? They end up having to protect you from thugs. So they'll do anything to keep from admitting that they ignore real men, even though they have videos all over the internet saying they only want Pookie. Don't get me started on April Mason and her dog community. Yeah, that was some funny shit. Patriarch Turner says exactly. Rosa just sat her ass down, but the men were hung and beaten by dogs. Yet she's the callous. First of all, Rosa Parks, like these guys said earlier, she was a plant. Like there was a woman that happened to, and then they put Rosa on the bus and made her the y'all know the story.
Yeah.
Right? I believe women were purposely overhyped in Black history as a feminist tactic to make women believe that they did more than men, then they will not respect men. Case in point is Harriet Tubman, who did not create the Underground Railroad.
Yeah, she didn't. She was being subsidized by a black man.
And she didn't save as many people as people would like to believe. Yes, the government gave them this position that they're in now. BLM and all of that shit is only allowed. Notice when black men were doing the Black Panthers, motherfuckers got shot, exiled, and all this other shit because when black men are in control of the movement, real progress happens, right?
Yeah.
When black men are in control of the
community had health insurance when the Black Panthers was in charge.
Yeah, when black women were in the movement, they get subsidized by the politicians, and they buy houses with the money they collect. Brandy B says, I feel like I'm in the locker room or at the poker tables eavesdropping. That's my friend, y'all. Don't nobody curse out. That's my people.
Yeah, we know.
So okay, so even I'm glad to chat though, but they'll swoop down on her.
Tell her to come up.
Nah, she ain't go. Well, she'll hear you. She might not. I don't know. I told her the comment. She's like, I don't want to get dragged. Right. So even Tyrone Muhammad took the red pill. Yeah. So
what was that one?
Huh?
Yeah,
Tyrone Muhammad. I'm not aware of who Tyrone Muhammad is. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I haven't heard of him.
Tyrone Muhammad.
So black women saying black men don't protect them is spitting on all the graves of the men who died for them. I've said that before.
Mm.
Right? Cortez says, I personally being there were men who did it before Rosa. They used her to push the strong woman narratives. And of course, they knew that, the same level of reaction to a black woman not giving up a seat wasn't going to be met
With violence.
If a black man did it.
Yeah.
All right. So then
well, not only that, no one would care. You know what I'm saying? The media wasn't gonna care if a black man did it,
So Brandy says no, sir. She's not jumping on the panel. Even with the Harriet movement, they made a black male slave catcher the enemy. Black male slave catchers, such a thing did not exist. All right, don't be having me out here as bait. So Tyrone Muhammad is the guy who threw bricks through the windows in Chicago. Okay, so that's
is she worried about being called a pick-me?
Nah, she ain't a pick-me.
I mean, that term pick-me is funny because it's like you got women that are that like to call other women a pick-me's, but the thing is, it's like, don't you want to get picked?
Mm-hmm. I mean, that tells you that they don't really want what they're asking for.
Nope.
And then they try to say a pick-me is a female simp, and it's like, well, then they don't understand what a simp is.
So understand,
because if a woman is doing something that black men want, she gets picked. Simps, they're doing stuff that is unethical.
No. But finish the sentence.
Okay. I mean, what as far as what simps do?
No, this is what I usually say.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I usually say.
Mm-hmm.
Simps, right? Pick-me's, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pick-me's, like you said, pick-me's get picked.
Yeah.
Simps do not.
Right.
Simps do not. They don't want simps.
So that'll tell you a whole lot about the team you're playing for. They eat the people who playing for them. Women like simping; they hate simps.
But you know what the payoff is for simps. Here's what the payoff is for simps. What simps do, and this has been my experience in life, is that what simps do, in situations where what I'm saying. I be smacking niggas around or whatever and shit, either literally or figuratively and shit. What a simp do, they will team up with the chicks, right? Up on me. You know what I'm saying? Because they can't, because the simps can't go toe to toe with me. They'll team up with the chick. So even though they're not getting the pussy, they can to some degree get a level of respect because they're working hand in hand with the chicks to try to put me down because the chicks don't like me too because I'm too much for them to handle. So now the payoff for the simp is, okay, this chick is giving me some attention to try to go at me and shit,
No, the way I see it is like women like to use simps as attack dogs. But they're disgusted by the simp because
that is what I'm saying. And what I'm saying is the simp as the attack dog, right? He gets the payoff by now getting the attention of the female during the time while he's attack dog. Because he ain't just gonna on his own come at a nigga the wrong way. He only gonna do it unless he has the backing of the gynocracy.
Understand this, right? Women seek attention. Attention for men. Men want to fuck. Right?
Yeah.
Now, yeah. So, I mean, we know men do a lot of shit for pussy.
Yeah.
Attention is not good enough for most men. So a man who just wants attention, guess how that looks to women?
Feminine.
Yeah. Now, women, they talk a lot of shit, but they don't like feminine men. Even with all this support for LGBT, because as soon as you disagree with them, what they call you?
Gay.
Right. So if men are seeking attention, or if men spend too much time in the mirror, this isn't attractive to women. Mm-hmm. So while they appreciate the comments that are being made, and I knew that even with Derek Jackson was being a simp for pay.
Yeah.
He's not a simp for real.
Yeah.
Trust me. That dude runs his house.
Well, but that's a good point though, because when I'm giving my scenario, and a lot of times I am thinking of the workplace. So in a lot of cases, these men, these simplest type of Negroes, will be voted up in the organizational structure because of the fact they were able to align themselves and get the trust and approval of the females, who are the ones who are the gatekeepers of men excelling in the workplace.
I mean, if you can't get pussy, you settle for attention.
Yeah.
There's no payout being a simp though.
No.
There's none. That's just my opinion. There's nothing that comes from being a simp. It's like a woman could probably pat you on the head on the internet, like, yeah, you a real man, but at the end of the day, he ain't getting nothing. He did some dirty macking and threw another man under the bus.
Dirty macking. I hear that for a long time. But I'm just saying, when you can't get pussy, you settle for attention. A lot of these simp dudes, they sitting at home, right? Because I it's just like girls talking about Kevin Samuels and other guys who talk about women are gay. Gay men don't spend an extraordinary amount of time speaking on women in the way that Kevin Samuels speaks about women. He doesn't. Gay men are oblivious to black heterosexual dynamics and relationships. They're oblivious to it. Mm-hmm. Just like we're oblivious to homosexual dynamics. I mean, let me ask you, both of you, did we know the level of domestic violence between lesbian couples before we read the statistic?
No.
That's something we had to be told. We didn't know because we ain't paying attention to that shit. Gay men are not paying attention to the relationship dynamics of heterosexual people.
Okay.
So a gay man is not going to create a whole platform talking about relationships with straight couples and what women need to do. Gay men, gay black men especially, defend black women because to them, I mean, first of all, they don't have the relationship, right?
They want to be just like black women. That's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They look up to black women in that because it's like black women actually have more of a masculine presence than a gay man.
Black women and black gay men, best friends.
Best friends, yeah.
Actually, black women use gay black men against us, right?
Well, and that's where I was saying about the attack dog in the workplace. Who is the one that's most promoted? If you're a black man, is it the homosexual man, the homosexual attack dog, or is it the heterosexual male that really ain't going along with the bullshit that the females are spitting out? It's the homosexual dude who gets promoted because he's usually the one that'll be the attack dog for the black chicks.
Well, it depends on who's running the office. Another thing is, gay men protect a lot of secrets.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Hassani jumps on. He said, he's on Facebook commenting on this link, said, I need y'all to stop making content all at the same time. I go bored 6 days a week. And the Onyx Report and the business all come on at the same time. I don't compete with T. Hassan Johnson. I wait for his shit to be done so that the party can come over here. I ain't competing with other black channels, especially motherfucking shits that's bigger than mine. I ain't competing with Kevin Samuels. I ain't competing with T. Hassan Johnson. I ain't competing with O'Shea. All right. This shit is regulated like TV. He got a time slot. I got a time slot. His shit is like Seinfeld or the Cosby Show. I might be like the shit that comes on after that. I'm Conan O'Brien. I'm the Late Show. You know what I'm saying? You know, I ain't compete with BGS either. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, what I'm saying is, you know, in those spaces, you know, a lot of times a black man or gay black man gets promoted because he's protecting secrets too.
Mm-hmm. True that.
Right? He's protecting some secrets.
Yeah.
Right. But
yeah, he knows where the bodies are buried. Usually.
Yeah. Yeah, because you can't shame gay black men. They especially if they out, their worst secret is their heterosexuality, right? Their homosexuality. So if they out and out with it, they're free. You can't shame them. Oh, you suck dick. So right? So understand, like, that's their best friend. So, you know, but at the end of the day, they still, as much as they act like they don't, they still view those men in a way that they'll use homosexuality as a way to insult straight men. Mm-hmm. Right? So, you know, let me it's weird because I'm saying the word too much. I'm gonna stop because we on YouTube. And I'm seeing him put the flag up. He said, so those black men act like black women while our sisters look more and more like trans black men. I said trans. I said fucked up. I said trans.
Right? No, but that's true though. That's true. A lot of times I was at the store today and I was looking at a couple of chicks. I said, man, that's a dude. But I'm like, that could be a female. I'm not sure.
Yeah, you know, yeah, black women tend to be looking a little rough and masculine these days.
Well, you know, no, I'm saying
part of it is because it's all weave.
Even the ones that got their hair slicked back and got the tights on, trying to look feminine, you still can't tell. Sometimes.
Well, here's the thing, and I've seen this a lot. A black woman that wears a whole bunch of weave tends to look less of a female than she would if she didn't have any of it.
Right, that's true.
Because the weave just doesn't look natural at all. It looks like somebody then ripped that off of an old Barbie doll that don't nobody care about and sewed that junk into her head or whatever. It just doesn't look natural.
Yeah. Well, I'm even looking at the hip structure sometimes. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, are them female hips or them male hips? You know what I'm saying? And she says these doctors is getting.
Oh, you talking about the waist trainers?
Yeah, no. They said these doctors are getting real good these days. I'm talking about their bone structure, bro. I'm talking about sometimes you can't tell, you know, because the way they set their, you know, because the female has a certain way her hips sit, and a lot of times men can, either through, I guess, surgery or whatever, they can set their hips in a ways that, like, okay.
Hold on, I'm confused. Are you talking about trans women looking more like real women? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Women get the same surgery.
To do what?
To you know, change their bodies. So that's why trans women look like women who go get these surgeries done. That's why a lot of times, you know, like she said, these doctors are getting real good. Yeah, because think about this, right? Women, you know, especially when, you know, when Kevin Samuels asking, you know, how do you rate yourself? Women, if they put their money together, they can become the women that men are looking for. Now, unfortunately, men can too, right? So men they go to these same doctors, these same cosmetic doctors, and like you say, Ian, the hips are set a certain way. They do look the same doctors that the strippers are going to. The trans dudes is going to. I said trans again. Stop saying trans here.
Can you say training?
No, don't say that. Don't say that.
Okay.
Yo, they gonna come after us if you say that.
Say that. Look, I need some likes on this video, man, to counteract the words that we've been saying so far, and this shit gonna get a flag. Click like on the video, please. You know what I'm saying? Click like on the video. Said Brandy B is not the doc. The doctors are getting good. What's happening is that we're brainwashed with the makeup, plastic surgery, and that's why trans look like. I said trans.
Yo, there's this show on Hulu called Why the Last Man, and it's a TV show. The narrative is that all the men died and there's nothing but women left, but then there are some T's running around too.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so when I saw that show, it had me scratching my head because they were really authentic with the casting, and it's like these are supposed to be men, but they're really women, but they look like real men. So I had to do some research.
So our word is going to be Decepticons. Say Decepticons.
Okay.
That's going to be our tag.
All right. So it's like you got these Decepticons taking these testosterone shots, and I guess after a period of like 3 years, I mean they're not gonna have like the musculature and everything like that, but as far as everything else, it looks authentic, all the way down to like facial hair or hair on shoulders, stuff like that. And it's like these doctors are really, really taking this thing to a next level to really engineer the society into buying into all of this stuff.
See, it's like, who said it? Liang said, right? If women weren't getting all this surgery, getting the super asses and all of that shit, right? Then, we know what natural Black women look like. Then when we see surgery, we will immediately think Decepticon, right? Because then they would be the only ones altering, and you can see the altering. Now, mind you, I always say that, cosmetic surgery is an art like anything else. You got doctors that are good, doctors that are bad, and you got doctors out there that will do a better job. It's just that back in the day, because there were less women getting these surgeries, anytime you seen anything that didn't look natural, you would associate it with a Decepticon, right? But now that real women are getting Decepticon surgery, it's all, So Bentley is correct to a degree. I do think that the doctors have improved, but it's still going to be a certain level of unnaturalness that is going to be detected, right? Weird Science movie back in the days, Anthony Michael Hall, right? From the 80s.
They could not release that movie today if they tried.
Now, and it's funny, I was looking at clips from that the other day. That means in that time, the thought, it was a concept, but it wasn't real. Like you couldn't create a woman, right? Back then. It was just, let's create a woman. Let's make a booty this big and a titties this big and this and that. They opted. Look at Kelly LeBrock, right? She didn't have the overstated big titties and how a dude or a woman would go get surgery today and because that's what she thinks men want. They made a small, fit white woman with like maybe B cups at best, no big booty, right? But this is what women think we want. They'll go and get all this ridiculous shit and they'll end up looking like this Deceps, right? So now you can't determine what's what. Right? So let's get to some of these comments. They're checking for scars these days. Now we don't check for scars. We want to see baby pictures. So tattoos on the butt is a giveaway. Nah, strippers got tattoos on the butt. I've been told, right?
Hide stuff.
So there's some mass. You know how you know a chick got surgery? They usually get tattoos over their belly button area, right? That's how you know they got the lipo or the whatever, the tummy tuck or whatever. Said there's some mad scientist, Dr. G wrote stuff, right? So Brandy says, but women get the surgeries because they want to look a certain way or they think that's what men want. That's who's in covers, ass strip clubs or whatnot. She's correct. The woman with all the surgery got 100,000, 500,000 followers on Instagram. They're being flown out and all this other shit. So I usually check dudes. I say y'all want natural women with natural hair, natural this, natural that, but these unnatural women get all the best treatment. And these Decepticons, right? They not doing this shit because it's not effective. So Liang says, don't forget the makeup. These Decepticons are wearing the same makeup. If you're selecting a woman, make sure she's not wearing any makeup. That's hard to do.
Makeup is black magic. I saw this TikTok video of this woman. She was actually severely disfigured from some sort of an accident. And the amount of makeup they threw on her, it looked like she just had minor problems. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know, I'm still, we're talking about the extreme, but I'm still scratching my head whether or not Issa Rae is a man or a woman.
Knock it off.
Wow.
You know, and I'm gonna throw this up, right? Hold on. Wait, what? Not that. This, right? So he says, when a man gets a fake butt, you could tell that she wants Thuggo. Now, mind you, Thuggo ain't the only one that wants a big ass, but I'm gonna say the reason why I like this comment is because you can tell who somebody's target audience is by what they do to themselves, right? Mm-hmm. So you got women who go get the big booty or whatever. They're chasing black men. Now, what type of black man? Depends, right? I mean, you got a lot of the guys that, you know, they'll say, well, I don't like no super big booty, whatever. Mm-hmm. But there's a bit of truth to this statement, because I always say, you know how you know women like Thuggo? Mm-hmm. I'll tell you how you know, right? It's not the only way to know, but one of the clearest indicators is even when women are attracted to women, the studs, what they tend to look like.
Thuggo.
Thugs.
Right?
Yeah.
These gay women, these studs, right? These women in the lifestyle, let's say that, right? These women that like women. These masculine women.
Yo, I think you are on to something like a motherfucker here.
When they emulate, listen, yeah. When women emulate men in our community. Now you look at Ellen DeGeneres. She looks like a Wall Street white man.
Okay, yeah.
She looks like a professional white man. You look at white women when they're studly, they look like white men. They wear suits and they wear ties and shit like this, right? Look like professional white men. But when black women seek to attract black women, their jeans are baggy, shirt hanging, cornrows. They look like Cleo from Set It Off.
Yeah.
Okay?
I saw this meme on social media talking about how come whenever you see a stud, they're not dressed like an upstanding young man.
But I'm just saying that for you. And mind you, some of my best friends are studs, right? And I say that to them. I'm like, why is it that you go for the hood look? because that's what that's your target audience.
And you know and them thuggish studs, they be getting the most pristine chicks. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, man.
Some of them be pristine themselves.
I mean, man, yo, Cortez, this is some disrespectful shit that you said. This is some disrespectful shit, man.
I've seen a few studs put on a dress, and it's like that's such a waste of a good woman.
Yo, look, y'all niggas gonna calm down in this chat, man. oh, man, I'm dizzy. Yo, Cortez, man. Y'all gonna put some respect on Issa Rae's name, man. Okay? The reason, let me tell you why I give this a pass, man. You don't hear me talk shit about her because, I mean, I haven't really got into that show yet.
If you want to wonder if somebody's a man, look at Wendy Williams.
Nah, Wendy was straight female. She's from New York. I'm from New York. I know the history of Wendy Williams and all the dudes that smashed.
Yeah, all the dudes that smashed it.
But she went and got the Decepticon surgery. But let's talk. Let me.
Built like Groot from that.
Yo, let me come to the aid. Just for a second, we gonna get back. Let me come to the aid of Issa Rae for a second. Issa Rae, right? My homegirl showed me an episode of Insecure with a dude. What's his name? Her ex dude. This is one of the new episodes. Like she's fair in her relationship. She doesn't play up black women to be all perfect and black dudes to be ain't shit. I gotta give her credit for that.
But you know what? That's a Jedi. It's a Jedi mind chick because the show. Understand? Okay, so she got you, Mark. She got you with the Jedi mind chick, Marcus. Listen, the show is called.
I don't watch, but
no. But the show is called Insecure. You know what I'm saying? So it's a play. So basically, she's using the Jedi mind trick. So she's saying, she's doing a show where she's not doing all that with the black men, but the show is called Insecure. So basically, she's saying if she was a healthy, mentally and emotionally healthy chick, she would be able to shit all over niggas.
Man, y'all gonna leave Issa Rae alone. I like Issa, man. She's handsome. Okay.
Yeah, she is.
She kind of handsome, but I mean, y'all gonna leave her alone, man. We need y'all to calm down and just patriarch turner, man. Y'all need y'all to, take it easy on Issa Rae, man. I give her a pass, man. Like, again, like you don't see too much of that in major shit, though. Like,
no, they don't.
You know what I'm saying? So let me read some more of these comments. Okay, yeah, most of us like plump butts, but not the extreme stuff. Pookie likes the extreme, but we have standards. Okay, as a woman, I'm checking for scars because these Decepticon men be out here looking like Tyson Bedford, and the tattoos cover all that too. I don't know what the Decepticon men. I don't know what they do to fool women into fucking with them. We just again because we don't pay attention to that shit, right? Y'all wrong, man. Y'all leave Issa Rae alone, man. The crazy thing is the procedures are the same for those getting corrective surgery or weight loss surgery. Oh, and be calling them daddy. Yes, they do call the studly women daddy, right? But these chicks, they know their target audience. They know what to look like, right? So when these girls say they don't like dudes with their pants sagging, nah, that's not true.
Because they check the chicks with the pants sagging.
Yeah, these girls know their target audience.
Did Brandy ever have a Decepticon dude come after her?
Hey, Brandy, you be getting fooled by the Decepticon men? So the Patriarch Turner, notice how they look like the Decepticon of the Baphomet?
Yeah.
What's that? Somebody put me on.
That's the thing that Lil Nas was having sex with in the video.
I
The
ain't
devil.
familiar with that.
It's
I don't
he's
know.
the devil.
Okay.
Yeah.
They be looking like the Baphomet, especially with the nose ring.
You know that symbol with the goat, the horns coming out. You got the witch symbol or whatever, and then you got the goat head and shit.
Yeah,
You
I
seen
never
it.
knew. Listen, I'll be the first to say I don't know some shit if I don't know some shit. I know enough to know to be honest about what I don't know. I've never heard the term before.
No, but you probably seen it though.
Now I know what you're talking about. I didn't see the video, but I seen stills that people were posting online. I don't watch shit so I can be mad at it. So I ain't watched him dancing around naked and me hearing about him twerking. This shit is good enough for me.
So you didn't see the jailhouse video then?
Which video? What, he did a video in a jailhouse?
Yeah, with the guys twerking.
Nah,
They
hell,
was in jail.
hell no. Hell
They
no,
was
I didn't see that.
They was in jail, bro.
I'll take y'all niggas' word for it. I'm not watching that.
I
Crazy.
do not go out of my way to find out what Lil Nas X is doing.
Listen, Marcus. I'm gonna send you that jailhouse video, bro.
I'm good, buddy. I'm good. Trust me. So look, you said they call him daddy to be rebellious. It's a slap in the face of real men. I agree. Yo, shout out to the chat. Y'all niggas is crazy, man. I'm mad I should have been on this YouTube shit. Should have been on it. That's my mediocre tutorials voice.
Oh,
let's get active. Let's get active. Without further ado, right? So like, yo, listen, man. They know their target audience. You know what product you selling. You trying to outmen the men, right? You trying to outmen the men
by being thuggo.
Check this out, yo. If you know, like I covered this already when it comes to space invaders, women who want to invade spaces. Men are not in competition with women. Men ain't trying to do the things that women do. Men are not going to the ballet shit and everything that's associated with being a woman. Men are not trying to outperform women in, but women are out trying to outperform men at everything that men do, including being us. Including being us. Is penis envy. Is penis envy. But again, like I said, the title of this video is Matriarchal Minded. We in our culture, we have for the most part accepted this behavior. The simp ideology is the pervasive ideology. And all this red pill shit and MGTOW shit and more shit, we're the outcasts.
We're like a lower than 1% of the men.
Yeah, the simp ideology is the matrix. We are the unplugged, dudes, and we done woke up out of our chairs and pulled that shit out of the back of our necks and all of that shit, right? The women don't even support like the WNBA and all this competition with being like they don't support none of this shit, right? Right? It's all fake shit. It's all fake shit at the end of the day. It's just they want to see it, and now they saying, well, the women in the WNBA, and I'm coming off of this comment right here. I believe the NFL will have a female position in 2 or 3 years. Nah, because they get fucked up.
They can do kicker.
No, they can't even do that.
Yeah, they just had
this world-renowned female soccer player try to be the first ever female NFL kicker. She got out there, she couldn't kick that football 30 feet. It was embarrassing.
Did you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
So
she can kick a soccer ball, but she can't kick no football.
Send me if you got the video. Send me the video of that.
Yeah, I'll look for it because it was on the news, and they broadcasted it live. She was getting ready to punt. She thought she was going to kick that field goal from midfield.
Shut
Right?
up.
She couldn't get 30 feet.
Damn.
And Brandy's commenting on my smoking earlier, man. Just to let y'all know, I'm not a smoker. I'm pump faking. I'm pump faking. I'm puffing. You know, suck the smoke in, blow it out. Ain't inhale. You can't inhale a cigar to choke the shit out you. But yeah, I'm pump faking. I ain't a smoker. But yeah, man. No, you can't listen. They just had a fight between, I don't know if y'all seen this, a dude, I think it was like an MMA fight where a guy and a girl was fighting, and they were both trash. Dude was trash too. But the dude still managed to beat the girl up.
Yeah.
And these chicks is outraged. Oh my God. How could you let something like this happen? It's what you asked for.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, you know, so it would be considered abuse if a brethren laid a chick out on the field on national television. Not a good look for men if it happened. But they don't want what they say they want. But again, you know, I just feel like it's a hindrance. It's like they're work, they're cutting their nose to spite their faces to compete or hinder the men. Like, you know, even when mothers raise their sons, like, you know, in a way that makes them incapable of providing for their generation of women.
Well, you know that's like that post you did, and you were arguing back and forth with that chick about you know, women or black mothers being responsible for the low reading scores for black boys. You know, I couldn't believe that chick.
Let's talk about that.
I couldn't believe that chick, bro. That, you know, and then when you told me about your mother not wanting you to supersede your sister, you know, that was fucked up, bro. That, I mean, damn, that, you know.
Hey, Ian, I had sent you that link.
Okay, yeah, that, you know, that was, yeah, I got it. That was hurtful. You know what I'm saying?
So let's talk about that for a second. So me and my sister born in the same year, right? And you know, I've always been an excellent reader, right? So, you know, I get into these debates where these motherfuckers use word salad to sound smart. You know, I was reading and pronouncing like 15-letter words like in 3rd, 4th grade, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what? Big shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why I don't get on here, you know, the Pythagorean theorem of the theory of philosophy, and I don't talk like that, right? I can, but I'm in. Shout out to Brotherly Love, Great Stream, homie, Space Invaders. Yeah, Space Invaders. And you got to be old enough to know what Space Invaders really is, right? It's an old ass video game. So understand, like when I was in the 4th grade, I think I was in like class 4-3. When we first went to school, I was in like 1-6, and my sister was in 1-2. And I don't know how they do in other states outside of New York, but you know, the lower your number was, the higher the, you know, the smarter the kids were. So if you were in 1-1, you were the smartest. If you're in 1-10, right? So we got to the 4th grade, they kept pushing me up to like 2nd grade. They took me from 1-6 to put me in 2-3. And for a second in the 2nd grade, they put me in 2-2, and my sister was in 2-2, and they had to take me out of the class because my sister they didn't want brother and sister in the same class. I don't know if that's something that they still do now. They didn't want us in the same class. So by the you know, went to 3-3, and she was in 3-2. But by the time the 4th grade came around, my teacher, who was my computer teacher. She was my main teacher also, but she was, you know, I was heavily into computers back in the day. And she wanted to promote me into a higher ranking class, and my mother didn't appreciate that, right? She came to the school.
Yeah, that's wild.
She came to the school to argue. I never forget this shit. She came to school to argue with the teacher about why am I being pushed up and pushing back her daughter. Understand, my mother, right, is a product of a matriarchal environment where I talk to my I call him my uncle, but he's her cousin. My one of my family members. He's like my second cousin. Is older than my mother, so he came up in that female matriarchal environment, and he told me, "Oh, that's how it was. We pushed the boys back. We hindered the boys to promote the girls, and we know that Black culture is fiercely, about promoting female education over male education." And yeah, she came to the school to argue with the teacher about that. And then after the argument was done, my teacher was like, I'm not gonna, hold you back for your sister. And my sister wasn't her student.
Right. That doesn't even make sense then.
This is a white woman of the Jewish faith, right? I had to say that a certain way because we're on YouTube. Sticking up for a Black kid against his mother. Now, if I said that, my mother was here to hear me say, "You're lying." It never happened, but it happened, right? And I felt like somebody sticking up for me, in that sense. Like, yo, I mean, there's much more I could talk about that's kind of in that realm of shit, but that's what happened. And then old girl in the post tried to make it, so that's because this is your experience and this and that. No, I'm reading statistics. Statistically, Black boys are falling behind in reading and Black girls are not. And they raised in the same environments. So what's the account for that? That stat being a nationwide thing.
Because there's an article about
me.
about the Black mother's bias against Black boys' intelligence.
Yeah. Their view on their Black sons is that they're less competent.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people like to trace that back to slavery,
right?
They trace it back to slavery, like, well, they're trying to protect their boys from being smart in this environment.
Yeah, they're trying to use the Willie Lynch shit. Like, yo, stop it. Stop.
I mean, the reality is
the Willie Lynch does not explain everything these fucking gynocentrists are doing. You know what I'm saying? Stop the cap. You can't.
I mean, the reality is the way a lot of young Black boys come up learning education, they don't get taught. We usually just get yelled at until we get the right answer. You know what I'm talking about? I saw this this skit on social media a while back, and there was a dude doing a parody where he was the kid and the mother at the same time, and the kid was trying to figure out what's 5 times 6, and then he couldn't figure it out, but his mother kept asking him over and over, and the more the mother had to ask him, the louder and deeper her voice got, to the point to where she was just overtly screaming at him. Like, what's 5 times 6? Slapping them all in the head and stuff like that. So I say all that to say that it's like a lot of young Black boys don't really get any education. They just get corporal punishment to get from grade to grade.
Sometimes they don't even get that. Listen, a lot of these kids, I mean, their mother ain't even giving a fuck. They'll throw them on them drugs.
Yeah, and And then if they excel through behavior goals. Like, oh, he's behaving well. We'll push him to the next grade. And so it's not even about the education anymore. It's about, okay, how well can he sit in his chair? So every year, if he can sit longer, the nigga can go to the next grade and shit.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of the kids, they get advanced to the next grade without really picking up anything, So basically, black men and boys are being handicapped by the dominant society and by our own kin. But understand, Patriarch Turner, understand. I just gave an example where the teacher had to go against the parent, right? So understand the dominant society in my case, and I'm not saying my case is the norm, but I don't know how many other black boys got my story where the teacher, who is the dominant society, so to speak, right, is having to battle the student's parent on the behalf of their education.
Well, if we go to the Monahan report, that whole dynamic with the Monahan report happened because the government was like, yo, how do we get these black women off welfare? So they're like, let's give black men jobs. And so they actually started, the dominant society started trying to empower black men. And the black women were like, hell to the no.
It's just like when black men got the vote. Black women weren't happy about that.
Right.
And white women certainly weren't. Understand, right? And, I got into this argument recently. We're talking about, oh, well, black women were feminists from back then. No, it wasn't feminism in the way that it is today. Understand, they talk about, well, feminism that, as we call it, didn't exist. Well, there was something called suffrage. And white women, and there was always a white woman's movement, whether it was feminism or suffrage, that black women tried to join. So they talk about Sojourner Truth, right? Ain't I a woman?
And she said that because the white women didn't want her to speak and shit.
They ain't wanted it.
But they don't tell the story like that. They say when they say ain't I a woman, they try to make it some other shit.
Yeah, like she got invited there, like, yeah, come on in, black woman. We gonna invite you. No, listen. White women didn't care and still don't, right? About what black women deal with or don't have. Anytime white women jump to the aid of black women is usually against some shit that we supposedly did to them. Is usually an affront to us. The same way that black women do it, white women push these feminist ideas on black women to give us the issue. It's just like DJ Kid was trying to give black women HIV so that we could catch it. Right? We're the target. They go through the black woman to get to us. They'll give these things to women to handicap us, and they take the bait.
Yeah, that's just like with King Richard. It was the white woman who she caused the firestorm. I'm like, you're a white woman trying to weigh in on the black family dynamic, and you're trying to tell black women to dislike a father who's doing for his black daughters. Like, let's make sense of that.
So, and they're bringing up, him leaving his first wife and kids, and we don't know the story.
We don't know the story.
Before I judge Richard Williams on quote unquote abandoning his firstborn kids or whatever, I want to know the story because I mean, shit. Even nowadays, we got men who were not allowed to be fathers, and they kept it moving. But I just before we move on to the King Richard thing, I just want to point out that women's suffrage was about the vote. That's the definition of it. You can look up suffrage on Google, and it would be defined as being about the vote.
Yeah, but what it's about too when they're talking about the vote, they were trying to curtail the black man getting the vote.
Yeah, but when they were fighting for women's suffrage, that was a result of black men getting the vote. So they were fighting for they wanted the vote also.
Yeah.
And black women weren't. You figure black women would be delighted that their men could vote.
Mm-hmm.
It's not what happened.
Nope.
Anytime black men get some sort of power, like I posted on my on Facebook something about black men, black men's income. It was a Kevin Samuels post, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the black female reaction to any progress that black men make is typically negative as a collective.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about individual black men. I mean black and not individual black women. But as a collective, progress made by black men is a negative.
And that's the crazy thing. So it's like white men were going to give black men the vote, and black women were against it. Like, so explain that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so white men were allowing us to vote, and black men and black women didn't want us to vote. That's some fucked up shit, bro.
Now, not too long ago, and I'm gonna get to Cortez's comment in a second. We know that the CDC put out a report saying black men are the most involved dads. You remember this?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're online like I am, you know that black women went out of their way to disprove this.
They did?
Oh, hell yeah. Mind you,
they can't stand us.
When it's a positive stat, they seek to discredit it, right? Now you can use, black men crime stats and, this, that, and the other. Anything that's negative about black men, right, becomes fact.
It's fact.
Right?
More than that, it's the
although we can be on the internet and we can point out all these stats about single motherhood and things like that. Oh, those are white man stats. Well, the CDC puts out white man stats. And I don't think in the history of black men in this country that white men go out of their way to paint a positive picture of black men to the point where they'll juke a stat saying
that makes them look bad.
That makes them look bad, and every other group of fathers look bad in comparison to black men. So to say, "Oh, those are white man stats," that they're trying to make y'all look good against us, when in the history of America has the government made an effort to make black men look favorable compared to anybody. Compared to anybody. I don't care what group you name.
It never happened.
It never happened. It ain't happened then. So, yeah, these stats become discredited, or, they went out of their way to discredit that. So I don't believe men were just abandoning kids. There's a reason that men who don't take care of one kid will have a successful family that he takes care of. Yeah. And that has everything to do with cooperation, submission, and those things. I could pull up, there's a study, I probably still have it pulled up, where they talk about the relationship dynamics of black men. That study that they did where they asked married black men why so many black women are single and unmarried or whatever.
Yeah, I remember that was old. Yeah. I remember
right?
that.
So I know it's one of these tabs. I'm gonna try to pull this up. I'm gonna share the screen.
But
But
they
you know,
asked a bunch of married black men this question.
Yeah. So okay, married
Oh,
black
that one.
men's opinions as to why black women are disproportionately single. So I'm gonna pull that up. Right. So hold on. Let's see what it is. Right. So
did you see the interview with Will Smith and his mom?
no.
Well, here's the thing. So the mom was on the interview with Will Smith, and they were talking about how, they were trying to they're trying to get into the head of Will Smith, and basically they're trying to say, okay, Will Smith is gets a pass on being a simp because of the fact is he didn't want to be like his father, and his father supposedly physically abused the mother. And so the mother was on there explaining. She was like, yeah, I used to fight him and fight back, and because she said, she tried to justify it. She said, well, I didn't want my kids to grow up, and then she tried to act as if like her being a strong black woman, or being a submissive woman, would have negatively affected her kids psychologically. So she said she had to fight against him. But basically she said the physical abuse wouldn't have happened if she had been more submissive. But she says if I was submissive, that will cause some deleterious effects psychologically or emotionally to my kids. So I had to fight my husband, and he got
And Will Smith turned out pretty balanced today, didn't he?
right, right. Right. But they're trying to blame it on the father. They're trying to say, okay, but really what it is that, the mother was fighting the father all the time. And when you see your mother fighting your father, that's trauma too. You know what I'm saying? But nobody cares about when the kids see the mother fighting the father. I mean, because I seen that. I remember one time
Well,
I peeked into the garage, and hell, my father was bleeding on the legs and shit. My mom was hollering and screaming and had some weapons and shit. He was backing up. I'm like, damn. What the fuck is going on here?
nobody wants to believe that mothers did something wrong. That's the thing, and they paint that picture themselves. It's like you could talk to a mother and be like, "Hey, this is what happened during this time," and they will deny it tooth and
And
nail.
my father, he's 6'4" at least. My mother is 5 foot whatever. So it's like,
Mhm.
yo, this chick is fucking retarded, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, man, you trying to put on this show for us, for our fucking benefit? Fuck out of here, man. Submit to that niggas. You know what I'm saying? So we can have a peaceful life.
Right.
You know.
I remember a long time ago, I was having a conversation with some people, and we were just talking about the dynamics of mothers and fathers, and the truth behind what really happened between mommy and daddy and stuff like that. And I asked the question. I was like, "Well, why don't we ever get to hear the father's side? Can't we hold the mother to account?" And one dude was like, "You never hold the mother to account. You never hold her to account because that's your mother." And I was like, "What?"
You heard somebody say that?
Yeah. He was like, don't. And I was like, "Why would you say that?" And he says, "Because she'll never admit it, so don't even worry about it." I was like, "Damn."
Stop it.
So y'all see this, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so over 3/4 of the men discussed gender conflict between men and women. In the Black community, the husbands noted that many women are misguided in their approaches to attracting and keeping a mate. The men also discussed the negative effects of incarceration. Further, the respondents underscored how the strong, independent nature of some Black women challenges relationship formation and maintenance, right? The men also described how a decline in the labor market opportunities affects impacts relationships. These factors are discussed in detail next, right? So hold on, let me get this this tab up because I came out of the tab.
I had several girlfriends tell me my preference was I wouldn't be happy with a woman who was submissive. So while they're actively fighting me all the time, you know what I'm saying, sometimes physically, they gonna tell me I wouldn't be happy with a chick who wasn't doing all that. I've had several girlfriends tell me that shit. I'm like, yo, why would you say that? Like,
because in their mind they think a contentious relationship is a good one.
Yeah.
So there's a section of this that I definitely want to read, right? So let me see here. There's, you know, they
Well, while you're looking, I got a question. Have you guys ever heard it before where, and this usually comes from like younger black men, to where they feel like they need to have a woman in their life that has an attitude?
Yeah, I've come across that. That's you know, they looking for their mother a lot.
No.
Like, yeah, it's like if I'm gonna be with a sister, she gotta have some fire.
No.
She gotta put me in my place. It's like
No. Listen, listen, Shay, you ad lib that last.
No, I've heard dudes literally say stuff like that they need a woman that's gonna talk back to them, and I'm like, what? I was like, no.
Shay, are you sure you heard that?
I have heard multiple black men say stuff like this, but again, like I said, they on the younger side. You know, they in their 20s.
That don't matter. That's still crazy, bro.
And I would tell them, I'm like, you know, get some years under your belt, man. Do some living and see if you still want to have that kind of hell in your life. It's not cute. There is nothing nice about having a feisty woman.
Nah, it ain't.
Yeah, man, it's kind of crazy. So where's this shit at?
So worst thing in the world, you're trying to like just live with somebody, and at every turn they just want to just undercut you. You know what I mean?
I had one chick tell me, you know, she was giving me trouble. She said she liked to give me trouble. She's like, she's doing all this on purpose. You know, and I was like, you're admitting to this? Like, what the hell?
A lot of them,
and then they say you weak that you don't slap the fire out their mouth.
Man. Until you do, and then you know you're a Mister from The Color Purple.
Mister. Damn, they fucked us up with Mister though, bro. They fucked us. That movie single-handedly destroyed the image of black men.
You can thank Oprah. I mean, she's the #1 agent, man.
You know, yeah. Oprah, goddamn, and people, we remember that movie. I remember that movie just because, goddamn, they blacked the hell out of her goddamn eye and shit. You know.
I mean, I saw some of Oprah's early talk shows. You know, back when she was nothing special, pretty much like the first Ricky Lake. And I guess the show was about infidelity. And then she would approach all these black men. So when did you first start cheating? You know, she was just open with that line, and every guy was like, I didn't cheat. What happened was, you know what I mean? And it's like all the men told their stories. I think there was only one guy on the panel that actually cheated, but the majority of the other men, they did not cheat at all. But she just kept walking up to these men and just accusing them of being these cheaters. You know what I mean?
That's wild. That's wild, bro. That's wild. But Oprah, man, you know, her story coming up, man, she was giving everything she had. Like, she grew up, her father owned a store, because I remember I seen it. Her father owned a barbershop, owned a store. Fucking, she grew up, in good circumstances. You know what I'm saying? And then she was given a position just on the whim at a radio station. She damn near she was given a job at the news channel. You know what I'm saying? Like everything she had, she was given, but they try to prop her up as this example of this accomplished black woman. But you didn't have to work for shit. She never worked for a damn thing.
Yeah, she made her bones on the backs of black men. That's what she did.
So I see Bishop, shout out to Bishop X. I think that's a sign. He says, I didn't know we was live. Yeah, I see you, man. Just so that you know that I see you, man. I'm about to read from this gender relations thing. Finish your points up, because I'm gonna read this shit here.
Well, in Back to the Color Purple, I think the whole dynamic, again, when I brought up the fact that Oprah Winfrey had got a black eye. So now what black women have gotten from that movie is that silencing black women is white supremacy. Basically, so it's like if they're quiet, they're complicit with white supremacy. And if a black man wants them to be quiet, he is a white supremacist, basically. That's what that scene says, where she decided, like a fucking fool, a group of white folks to want to pop out off at the mouth and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, man, like, don't be stupid, man. You and your ego, and you got your eye blacked by a bunch of white folks. That's not about racism. That's stupidity. You know what I'm saying? Fuck that.
So check this out. Okay, so this is that study that I'm talking about. Okay, so research that slavery in the U.S. and its consequences explains some of the challenges in relationship formation and maintenance between black men and women today. Enslaved black men were customarily removed from their families and communities, and thus their function in family life was often more biological than social or financial. Slavery conditions may have significantly undermined the formation of permanent unions and the leadership roles of black men in their families. All right. So, given the marginal roles relegated to black men within their families and the history of strange interrelations that may be attributed to harsh slavery conditions, communication challenges, and confusion about gender roles between black men and women developed. This confusion in the gender roles between black men and women can be traced to fluidity in gender roles between the two genders. Gender roles were flexible out of economic necessity, attributed the existence of deep scars in relationship ties between black men and women, and to the condition of slavery, as well to their contemporary experiences of racism and discrimination. Okay, relational challenges, negative orientations and attitudes, and difficult interaction styles between black men and women were passed on to younger generations through socialization. Gender relations between black men and women have been characterized as strain in gender relations may be rooted to slavery and discrimination. Right. As such, various manifestations may have resulted in generalized distrust and inability to effectively communicate with one another and navigating non-complementary gender roles. They got some names there. Offers an illustration of how conflicting sex roles may operate. A black woman may feel that her black man is supposed to assume a dominant role, but she also may be inclined to exhibit behaviors that are opposed to his dominance and her subordinates. That was the quote I was looking for. That last part, right?
Or read it again.
Yeah, a black woman may feel that her black man is supposed to assume a dominant role, but she may also be inclined to exhibit behaviors that are opposed to his dominance and her subordinance.
And who is the article? And what is the article you're citing?
This is it's called the article. Let me scroll all the way back up. So this is and I'll shoot the link out to whoever want it. Married Black men's opinions as to why Black women are disproportionately single, a qualitative study. And what they did was they interviewed Black men, which nobody gives a fuck about our opinions, right? So this is rare. This is some rare shit where they actually asked Black men, what do you think? Right? Which they rarely do. Right? So, yeah, this link, again, this is on my computer right now. I can shoot the link out to whoever want it. Right? So, matter of fact, I think I'm going to post that in the chat. And anybody who wants to copy and paste this can read it on their own. There's a lot of shit here. Right? Just, I ain't capping. This ain't a screenshot that comes from some random place. This is a real study. Okay? And again, they hardly ask motherfuckers for their opinion about anything. So this is, very different than what we're used to when it comes to, because they ask Black women all the time, well, what are your problems with Black men? They never ask us shit. So their side of the story is always told. It's like, the what they say, history is told by the winners, right? So like if you allow one side to say, hey, we're victims or we're winners, then you only hear that side. The link to that is right there in the chat. Whoever want it. Okay. So let's read some of these comments. And there it is. There it is. And that's why a lot of the times Black men call Black women agents. Call them agents because you're an agent. You're aiding them in the bullshit. The best people you can get to talk shit about Black people or Black men is somebody in the group, right? So yeah, man. So Young Thug said that no normal college educated or middle class Black man wants attitude. This is why 49% of them marry out. The only ones, the hood dudes like that. They like that drama. They like that drama. They've been raised to like that drama. Somebody said, "Hey, oh, damn, your camera is clear."
I got a question. What do you think of Larry Elder sits on the spectrum of all this?
No, you do have a fucking clear ass camera. Keep it 100.
Y'all know what I do for a living, man.
Your shit is extra fucking clear.
Y'all know what I do. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what I do. This ain't the tablet. You know what I'm saying? Look. This is you feel me? This is you know what I'm saying? This is what I do. Now this camera, this is a Sigma. Right. What I'm using right now is a Sigma FP. That's a camera. I take pictures. I shoot. This is a cinema camera. Right. But yeah, man. And I appreciate it. If I'm gonna get on video, I'm gonna use my real shit. I got lenses in this motherfucker. That's a real lens right there. That's a 50mm Canon lens shooting this. But I appreciate that. You know what I mean? That's how I bring you the quality. Earlier, my battery died in the camera. I changed the battery. That's why I was off the screen for a second. But yeah, man. Yeah, shout out to Chaos Rain. But yeah, man.
Where do you think Larry Elder sits on the spectrum of all this?
Huh?
Larry Elder.
What about him?
Where do you think he sits on the spectrum of all this? Because he don't have nothing nice to say about Black people.
I mean, he's like them. He's paid to say what he's. Listen, it's always been lucrative to throw niggas under the bus. Look at that. Look, what's his name? Derek Jackson made a whole living. You know, Larry Elder, Jesse Peterson. Anybody you want to talk shit about? You want to be black and sell black out? Black
Peter, that's funny though.
It's always money in it. Money ain't no money in saying the shit we saying.
Nah.
I mean, Kevin Samuels is an anomaly. He's an aberration. You know, he said, dude, you do macro photography. I do all photography. Do it all. Right? But yeah, man, he's an aberration. It's just this red pill, Idmore, MGTOW shit has just started to be some regular shit where these
talking points.
You got people jumping. A lot of girls is jumping on the bandwagon, like, oh, this shit is money. This is an audience.
Yeah, the talking points are just so fucking solid in the manosphere, bro.
But understand this: I'm from Manosphere 1.0.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the Sergeant Willie Peace and the Thugticians and all of these guys. These guys got flagged off of YouTube numerous times. Thugtician got flagged off of YouTube. All these dudes got flagged off of YouTube, man.
The first time I came into contact with the Manosphere, it was this guy called Heavenly Truth One out of the UK. The dude used to spit some fire, and then after a while,
you talking about a black guy?
Yeah, it was a black guy from the UK, and all he used to talk about is, the shit we talking about now, just on how, black women are just in total opposition of black men. And the stuff he would post is solid, but YouTube shot him down twice after that. He said he was done. He was making no more content. It's just too much work.
Yeah, you build this following and then they just take your channel. You got to start from scratch. All right. So, speaking of Alice Walker, notice how almost all black women told us to celebrate Black history, or to celebrate in Black history were white worshipers and married white men. I see you, man. Metaphors. I see you. I don't know. Let me know if you want to jump up in here. How long we been on? We've been on a couple hours.
I don't know.
But yeah, man.
What about King Richard?
So let's talk about King Richard. I mean, they trying to tear him apart right now. See, Will Smith, right? I know black women who they really hate what Jada's doing, right? And but they're gonna he has to. It's sad that he has to play the role that he's playing.
No, well, listen, read that comment. Read that comment.
What this here? A divested black woman wrote The Color Purple.
Yeah.
Damn.
Let's read it again. Let's hear that one more time.
Damn.
A divested black woman. I don't know.
It all makes sense now.
Yeah.
Is she divested? I thought she was into women.
Both. She had a white man and she was lesbian.
Well, all right.
Well, now.
Hold on. Let me make sure. I don't want my sound to be off. Hold on. I don't know if I'm okay. Make sure my sound is synced up, because make sure the mic that I'm talking into is the camera mic, not the computer mic. But anyway, yeah, man. So, but again, all of this stuff at the end of the day breeds dudes who are in line with this sort of thinking, and that's how we get the simps and all of this stuff. Yeah, Alice Walker. Yeah. So, but yeah, the thing with one thing that has come out with this whole King Richard thing is the fact that fathers, black fathers especially, get different outcomes in black children than single mothers do.
Mhm.
Right? Or even single fathers, right?
Mhm.
I don't care if the dad is single black men and any kids that had their fathers in their lives, involved in their lives to that degree, as long as dad wasn't on no matriarchal shit himself,
Mhm.
can't leave that out,
Mhm.
then you got positive outcomes. The only way that you get Serena and Venus Williams is two things. You got a father that's involved and a mother that allows it.
Mhm.
Those two things got to happen. A father, an involved father, and a woman who allows his involvement and it allows him to be as hard on them as he was. Like he
Well,
really
but you know what the trade off was is that he was a stepfather. So she was like, okay, if you take care of these three kids, I will let you raise another two.
but that doesn't typically happen either.
No, it doesn't.
To even when the dad is the stepdad, how many women let the stepdad like really push their children, the woman's children,
Mhm.
in any positive direction? They going, nah, you being too hard on my kids.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like The Neighbor. I haven't seen the movie yet, but what I'm understanding, The Neighbor was like, oh, you're being too hard on those girls, right?
Yeah, she was a quintessential black woman.
There's a video on Facebook floating around where this guy is a dad and his daughter. They're in the park and he got her doing all these gymnastic tricks.
Mhm. Yeah, I
Have
know that.
y'all seen this video?
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay. So there's a video. I'll send y'all the link. There's a video where he got the girl jumping. He throws her up in the air. She lands like this, and she's doing some Dominique Dawes.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Did you read the comments?
No, what the comments say?
So in the video, he's pushing the girl and he's being very supportive of, like if she didn't do it good enough, like, okay, we're going to try again in the snap and you're crying. I understand you're crying, but we try again. And he's being all supportive. He ain't yelling at this little girl. He ain't, being hard on her, but he's just pushing her to try again and to win. And the girls in the comment section were like, oh my God, this is cringe.
You know, it was funny because
She's just
I went through a lot of those comments, and there were some comments where white women was giving this man a lot of praise, but the sisters was hating it.
Yeah. Because we're not allowed to do that.
I can't believe that they were hating on that motherfucker.
Yeah,
That's crazy. But I mean, but they should even understand that's what they do in gymnastics. You know what I'm saying?
but
Like that
you
shit.
got to understand too. It's just that black women, generally speaking, they can't stand to see a black man parenting. Period.
I can't believe
Like
that. That was a crazy.
I remember when
Damn.
I started my journey being a single father. I had black women tell me to my face, "You better raise those kids to respect black women."
What?
It's like they didn't. That was their first impulse to make sure that I break those boys. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Nothing, nothing outside of that.
mm.
Nothing about you doing a good job or wow. It's like you know it's amazing what you're doing because you don't have no support circle, nothing like that. It was like, oh, you raising them alone? You better make sure they don't grow up hating black women.
So I had when my daughter was when my son was born. After my daughter, a friend, a good I guess my ex-wife's one of her best friends or whatever, and her mom was over the house, and these bitches was walking around, standing around, you know what I'm saying? Stalking around and shit, talking about you know you know, I guess this was right before she, well, she was close to labor or something, and they gonna say in front of me and her, oh, be careful because when your son is born, he's gonna forget all about his daughter. Like this is how you celebrate a birth.
So I'm gonna play this video because I just found it because I had sent it to Doc Johnson. So I just went into his our messages and shit. So I'm gonna show this video, right? Right. So hold on one second. I want to show this shit full screen, right? So check this out. Hold on. Let me get it up again. Hold on. Let me come back here. And so so we ain't gonna get blocked for this because this is a Facebook post. So y'all can see it?
Yep.
Check this out.
So pull up tight and then straddle, okay?
Okay.
1, 2. Are you okay? Did that hurt? But hey, see how you never straddled? You didn't go for a straddle right there, okay?
Okay.
And that was kind of dangerous. So make sure you go for the right skill, okay? Because if I say pull up and then straddle, and you do a pull up and you don't straddle, you're going to fall. But Daddy will always say, I won't let you hit the ground like that, okay? But make sure you follow instructions, okay? You might be good. Are you ready to get it? You okay? Wipe those tears up. I got you. Let's get it. Big smile. No up. 1, 2. Good. Drop pull up to a straddle. Kick out now. Good. Hand ski. 1, 2. Lock out. Good. 1, 2. Good. Stretch. Lock out your leg. Prep. Double down. Go. Toes. Woo! Clean. Yeah. How did that one feel? That was the best one, huh? Hey, I'm so proud of you, Mama. You did so good. Give me a hug. You ready to go get some ice cream?
I don't want. I want to go home and eat food.
Oh, you want some real food? Yeah, why are you crying? Is that a reason to cry? Jada, what do we always say? If we mess up, then what? Come here. If we what?
Try again.
And what?
It would work.
So if you mess up, do what?
We're gonna do it right.
Okay. Is crying in any of those steps? You know what I mean? Like, think about if you did this at gymnastics, okay? Let's say you mess up on an event. Let's say you do beam first and you fall off the beam. You start crying. You still have 3 more events. You know what I mean? You gotta. That's called composure. Say composure. Composure. Okay, you need composure. Composure is when, even if things aren't going as planned, you still keep the right mindset. You don't get broken down over it, okay? You don't start crying. You just get up and do it right. The only reason it fell was because either you did something wrong or Daddy did something wrong. I'm not going to blame it on you and say you did something wrong, because I probably could have done something better. You know what I mean? Let's just get up and go again, okay? Let's get it and go play some arcade games, okay? Let's go.
What's on Daddy's bag? What is that?
A grasshopper.
All right, let's stop that right there. I think we've seen enough, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna show you.
Was she doing gymnastics in that video too?
She was. Well, if I keep playing it, she probably would do some more gymnastics. But
Okay.
I mean, that girl is 5 years old. You see what she did? I can't do that.
Yeah. Well, the second video is when she's older, right?
I don't know. Is she older? I think. Hold on. Let me play it some more.
Like she's older.
So she might be older.
I've seen her do gymnastics before.
It did?
So let's skip ahead, right? Okay, so she's older.
This is a horse
Okay. Can I catch it on one hand or not?
You can.
All right, let's go. Hand. Big arms. 1, 2. Ivy. Back. Triple back. Triple 1, 2. Nice triple down. Mama, you were spinning that thing. All right, what are we doing?
Butchers and rewind and creep and flip and football.
I can do that. Can you do that? Let's go. Let's hit it perfect one time. How are you gonna pull this in rewind? Hey, before you grab my wrist. Okay. Mama, let's do this. Let's do this, mama. You ready to hit this big mean stunt?
Yeah.
Let's get him. Hey, don't scream at him. Twist and rewind. Ready? And get this one perfect. 1, 2. Oh, wait, who am I?
Okay. Feel me? So let's go to some comments, shall we?
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, this is my comment. This is why men raise better children than women. We push. Moms coddle the kids all the way until adulthood. All right, let's go to these comments, right? They coddle their kids all the way into adulthood, right?
Mm-hmm.
They this is how greatness is created, right? So you got your boy Shane. He says it's good to see a father investing in their child's skills and potential. It better equips them for a world that will most certainly try to break them. He's firm, supportive, and compassionate. Mothers usually give into frustration and just unleash anger on a child while giving no direction, guidance, or creating a pathway to understand it. I wish my father had this type of passion to make something great in me when I was a child. When I was young, I used to play the trumpet. As soon as the lessons got hard, I wanted to quit. You know what my father did? He let me. To take it further, there were other things I was interested in wanting to try that was restricted from doing because he didn't want to take the time. Looking back now, looking back how knows how seasoned of a man I would have become today if I had even 15% of mentorship or character building confidence instilled in me. Instead, I have to create myself very late in life. Understand, Will Smith, his daughter, he told a story about his daughter wanting to do something, and then as soon as it got too hard for her, he canceled the whole thing. He paid a bunch of money, he let her quit. And this is why Will Smith has the children that he has, right? So let's go to some of these female comments. This is poor little kid, let her play with her dolls and go for walks on the beach and enjoy her childhood. Right? Okay, so it's being a great dad if you put your daughter in dangerous situation for YouTube, Insta fame. I don't get it. Not inspiration at all. That little girl needs to be left to enjoy her childhood instead of being pressured into performing tricks to please an immature adult. Right?
He's immature now.
So Amanda says, I'd love to talk to her in 15, 20 years to see what effects this has on her as an adult. Children need to be children. This is doing too much. This is why our kids fail. This kid is so broken by parents trying to push it. She cries at every chance she gets, and no matter what she does, they make her do it again sad. This is why our kids lose. Now, understand, if that was her mother, there'd probably be a different response. All right? So, this is the difference between fathers and mothers. Every great athlete that we know had a father like this.
Of course, yeah. Namely, let's look at Naomi Osaka. he the black father basically almost did this, basically did the same thing King Richard did.
Yeah. Our boys nor our girls. You know, even the girls go get these whack ass degrees. Great black children come from black fathers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's not even debatable.
It's like I said, Naomi Osaka surpassed Serena Williams because she had a black father. The only person that could vest Serena was another chick with a black father pushing her the same way.
Did y'all see the picture of Arnold Schwarzenegger with his son versus
Yeah.
the picture of his other son?
Yeah, that was a big difference.
What else do we need to show you? Right? So Liang says, very interesting. You know, Asian children don't have childhoods. This is why Asians will run America in the next 10 years. Asians are very hard on their children for grades, and it's their culture. And they're patriarchal. Asian men control the house and the children. Here and over there, people want the outcome, but they don't want the process. T.I. went out of his way to make sure that his daughter didn't become a teenage mother. And we know how that went. We know what the response to that was. Oh my God. He trying to control her. Oh my God. So here's a little girl doing the stuff that she can do. 5 years old, 6, 7, 8. And it's like you said, Shane, in the comments, we could only wish that we had that. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Men push for their greatness. Men push for their kids, the Joe Jacksons and this one. You can say what you want. Can't call them broke.
I tell my kids all the time to reach whatever they find any kind of interest in and become masters at it. And just don't give up. As soon as it gets hard, that means that's when they're starting to break into the maturity of the level of what they're trying to get to. As soon as it starts getting hard, that's when it starts getting good. And you got to keep pushing.
Understand. They want these outcomes. They just don't want them to come from us. In the same way that they want Pookie to save the black community, they don't want it to be educated, upstanding black men to save the black community. They want the success to come from who they want it to come from, where they want it to come from. They want it packaged their way. They want Serena and Venus, but they don't want it to come as a result of a black man. Because black male leadership is a problem regardless of what it produces.
Yep.
Right? You look anywhere else where the men are involved or allowed to be involved, and you get more of these outcomes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that's how I see King Richard. And what they're doing with that in the media right now, even to the point where you ask the Williams sisters if they were traumatized by their dad. let's see them in 15, 20 years. Well, you got Venus and Serena. The women you want to claim, they didn't want the movie to be about the dad. They wanted it to be about the girls. But there's no Serena and Venus without Richard Williams. It doesn't happen. You don't get that outcome. And they don't want it. They'll sacrifice the positive outcomes if it comes at the expense of their control. You dig? So we're gonna wrap this up soon. We've been on here for 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate everybody that jumped in here. Is there anybody in the chat that wants? I'm gonna shoot the I'm gonna shoot the link out on, and just in case anybody wants to jump in before we jump off, right? Hassani, I don't know if you're still there. Brandy, I don't know if you're still there. But again, Black women are sacrificing even their children's futures for this control that they have, right? And they're teaching their sons, like you said, respect Black women. Where does this get us? You get more simps, makes you feel good. But where does it get us? You don't want the outcomes. You don't, again, I always say that community is a man-made thing. Community is something men want. Men want these outcomes. Men want Black excellence. Women don't want Black excellence if it doesn't come through them. Women don't want liberation if it doesn't come through them. We see what they did to Ice Cube. They don't want these outcomes if it got to come through the Black men that they don't like. They'll sacrifice it. Like I think it was one of the guys in the chat said earlier. He said they'll be homeless on the street before they submit to a Black man, right? Not all of them, but a good amount, right? So it was Cortez that said that, right? So, we white women, huh?
If they're willing to pick weaves out of dumpsters, yeah, they don't mind being homeless before they'll submit to a Black man.
So white women go to school to get a man. Black women go to school so they won't need a man. And that's what I wanted to say in the Bit of Truth show chat, is that you don't get a degree. The girl said, oh, it's a backup plan. Backup plan for what? If you find a Black man in college, or a Black man that's going to college, and he's getting his degree, he's about, really handling his business, and you don't fuck with, Tyrone and have Tyrone's baby, that's your backup plan. You live in America. If your college educated Black man does you dirty, you'll be all right. If it don't work out, you got alimony and child support to fall back on, right? So it's not a backup plan. It's plan A. And this is what I said. This is what I was going to say on that show. It's plan A. The family shit is plan B.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a trip. Like,
You cut
I've
off
seen it in conversations to where it's like women that have children ask why didn't they marry the man that they had children with, and they're disgusted by the idea.
Yeah, because they never wanted those. Sometimes they wanted those men, and in many cases they wanted those men and they wanted to transform those men into the boss, the English guy, the upstanding guy. But in a lot of cases, they never planned relationships with those men. I was talking to my cousin. We was talking about another cousin of mine who got, kids all over the place, right? Currently doing a bid. And I told her, I said, there's no possible way in my mind I could think that these women that had these kids with my cousin saw a relationship with him. Shout out to BGS. BGS always links people to me, and I appreciate it. Right? Lionel, you caught us on the tail end. But we was talking some shit over here. But they don't go to school to meet men. They go to school to get the degree to be the independent woman because that's what they were told was the way. Because at all costs, you must be independent of black men. It's like what we read in the study. It's a distrust. They don't trust black men. They've been told not to. So they get their degree to fall back on. I mentioned 22 as an age to get married. They said that's too young. They're having kids that age. So it's too young to get married, but not too young to be a baby mama. I'm gonna add Hassani. And Hassani, I appreciate huh?
That's what I'm saying. It's like these chicks, they're grandmothers before 40, but they think getting married in their early 20s before having children is too young.
Yeah, she said it's 22 is too young to get married. You got these women having babies at 17, 18, 19. So it's never too young to be. They chastised T.I. for preventing that for his daughter. It's never too young to be a baby mama. It's too young to be married, though. Mm-hmm. Right? Hassani, I want some words here. What's going on, brother?
See, this topic tonight really gets me because the whole female control thing, I'm having this problem with my sister now. We just had the conversation tonight, and she's blaming her actions on, our mother being a divorced mother. And now my sister is a single mother. And I have two nieces now. Like, I can just see this whole thing rolling down like through the generations. And it's crazy because now we're red pill and we see how things happen, but you don't want to apply it to your own family. But it's like you're noticing, oh, this is going left real quick, and this is my family. This is going to be my legacy. And it kind of hurts. Mm-hmm. It's like watching a slow train wreck. And I mean, and we were just talking about getting married too young. I have a cousin, and she is an absolute stunner. And she just finished college, and she's a med tech or x-ray tech. I tell her, you should be getting married now. But every time I look on Facebook, she's in Barbados. She's out partying. She's no longer a size 5. She's now like a size 8. You can see the weight. You can see the weight creeping on. You can see the debt creeping up. And I'm like, she's like, I need to live my life. I can't get married young. I'm like, everybody in this family got married young. You now want to waste your good looks and slide into your 30s, and it's just not going to be a good look.
So, and then a man is going to be like, what do you bring to the table? Well, I got more weight and debt.
And when I tell you my cousin is a stunner, she's a stunner. She's an absolute absolute Kelly Rowland. All right. She's absolutely adorable. And she just wasted her entire 20s. She's now 29. But she's now 29 with debt because all she's been doing is, she bought a car, then she bought another car. She went on all these different vacations. She hasn't saved anything. She's just racked up debt. So debt and weight is all she's done with her 20s.
Wow.
And then when I brought it up to her, she was like, oh, well, I'll find a man. I just don't want to be divorced like the rest of y'all. And I'm like,
No one ever told her that the reason why men get divorced is because it's the women that's leaving.
I don't think I don't think they want to hear it. They just, without knowing any black men who are evil, she thinks she's going to run into a black man who's going to do her wrong and be evil. She just thinks it's going to automatically turn out as a divorce. I mean, even if you use my marriage as an example, my second marriage as an example, like 10 years would still be a good run. I told her, I said, if you get married for 10 years, you're still going to cake off with alimony. You're still going to have a house. You're still going to have legitimate children. Why wait till you're in your mid 30s to think you're going to magically land the man you want? It's crazy watching it happen. And these are my second generation cousins. You want to know what happened to all the women who are my first generation cousins?
What happened?
Every single female in my family is single. All these pretty, long, curly-haired, big-nosed women, and they're all. He's seen my Facebook page, and they're all of my cousins are single. Every granddaughter of my grandmother, it's like 16. Nobody has a husband.
How many?
16.
And they're all single?
All 100% at this current point are single. And I have one of those rare families where, all the women I have no fat women in my family, and all the women have at least shoulder length hair. Everything we claim we want, but we still have all the toxic behaviors of not passing down how to be a wife, not passing down how to hold your tongue, not passing down to value a man. 16 of my grandfather's granddaughters, none of them have husbands. Zero.
Let me give a shout out to BGS because he's in the chat, and I gotta shout him out because every time I go live, somebody jumps on here that says they came from BGS. I appreciate it, and BGS is somebody that I've been watching his shit for a long time. So shout out to him. I appreciate that. How many guys, right? Like Thanksgiving just passed. Who went to like family's house for Thanksgiving?
I didn't.
Huh?
Nope.
No? How many of you have seen like pictures or videos online of like, people's Thanksgiving and noticed that there's an overabundance of women?
No men.
No men, hardly any men.
Well, my family, I can tell you, the reason why I have a male cousin, two of my male cousins stopped coming to Thanksgiving and rest of the events because just to get the kids to come, my auntie started inviting the exes.
Damn. So let me mention this in reference to what you said, Hassani. You said, about it's your cousin, right?
My cousin, two of my male cousins, they don't come to events.
No. You're talking about your girl cousin that went to school and she's a stunner and all of this stuff, right?
Yes.
When I hear stuff like that, it reminds me of guys, right? Who, let's say you got a guy all his life, he ain't have it, this and that. And all of a sudden, he either comes into money or he gets a record deal or he becomes an athlete. You see him getting married in a hurry?
He has options, so no.
He has options. Women in their 20s have options. I said this on Facebook. I said the reason why a lot of these women don't want to get married young is because they got dudes all up in their face spending money on them, maybe paying a couple bills of theirs, taking them out to dinners and shit like that. And in that time period, especially in their 20s, if they pick one guy and get married to him, all of that ends, right?
Yep.
From a logic standpoint, think about it. From that point of view, right? Whether they got kids or not, right? In their 20s, where they got all these dudes, they can reap all the benefits of being the hot 20-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
Why would they, relinquish these benefits? by
They got
marrying
options.
one dude. After they get into it, if you a 20-year-old woman, you got the body, you got the face, you pick a dude, you can't go on a million first dates.
They got options, but they don't have priorities, and that's why they waste time.
Understood. But the game don't work for them like it works for us. But when you're 20 years old, you don't know that. All you seeing is right now, I got 8 dudes, maybe 18 dudes in my inbox, in my DMs, trying to fly me out. You can't be flown out if you got a man or if you got a husband.
But the smart thing would, if you got more options, that's when it's like, okay, it's the buyer's market, or seller's market. So when you got more options, that's when you should make your choice, when you have more options and
You're-
not less. So it's like,
you're projecting foresight onto these women, bro.
Yeah, you're giving them logic that they don't have. So you know where that logic should come from? It should come from your mama. It should come from your aunties. But we have a culture where your mothers and your aunties are kind of competing with you for the same men.
yes, yeah. Well, I said that on T. Hassan Johnson's stream, because we were having a conversation. What we were talking about women giving their daughters up at young ages as sexual objects.
Yeah.
And I said, in a lot of cases, Black women are subjecting their daughters to sexual trauma because they're in competition. They're doing that to even the playing field. They want to hurt them emotionally and mentally. So then, therefore, they can still compete with them, for the same men, if they can damage them like that.
Oh, it's even more than that. They do that to their daughters so they can make sure that their daughters will be around to take care of them.
Oh, there we go.
That too.
Oh, who said that?
I did.
Ooh.
Ooh.
That hit home.
That damage goods, bro.
You're not gonna leave me alone. You're gonna stay here and do right by your mama.
My sister, like I said, my sister and my mother. Ooh, that hit home. That hit home.
That hit home.
Yeah, my mother always wanted my older sister to be her best friend.
Is that the one she was mad? She was mad about going past her in the grade.
You said that what?
Is that the one that she got mad about you going past in the grade?
Oh yeah.
Same one.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Mm-hmm. But see,
she said
like again, it's like the same in the adult industry where you got the stripper that's making all the money. She's not thinking eventually some young chick, I'm gonna be the old chick in the club and some young chick is gonna come and take my spot. They think, 10 years from now, I'm gonna still be that chick.
Mm-hmm.
So if it ain't foresight, then it ain't gonna be foresight when it comes to these girls saying, let me get married now. Let me put my bid in while I'm hot to reduce my options and reduce these gifts and this money and all this money that they get sent on the internet and things like that. BGS, let me know if you want to jump in here, man. Just I got to extend the invitation so that I don't feel like I didn't, right? But let me put that link up just in case he want to jump in here. But what I'm saying is they're not about most of them. They're not about the future. They're about right now. I'm reaping the benefits of all this love. Right? They're not looking at it like, hey, I'm gonna be 35 and okay. Yeah, I'm gonna be 35 and none of these dudes will be checking for me, so I better invest now in one of these guys early. Remember, there was a story. I don't know if you remember, Shane. You probably remember because you was on my Facebook when I was going back and forth with Shanna about the girl who was dating a dude in law school, and she left him for not Little Yachty. What's the other kid's name? What's his name? Is a rapper. She left him for what's the kid on Bad and Bougie with Migos?
I don't know. I don't listen to that new music.
Uzi Vert.
Okay.
Okay.
She left her law student boyfriend for little Uzi Vert.
Damn.
Is this a story?
This is real. This is real.
You got a link for that?
Yeah, Renner leaves her lawyer boyfriend for little Uzi Vert.
Was it Renner? Hold on.
Brittany Renner?
Brittany Renner leaves her lawyer boyfriend for little Uzi Dirt.
Did you put it up?
Hold on.
That would okay.
Brittany Renner got some bodies behind her.
That's what happens when you're pretty.
So was that Brittany Renner? Look at that. She left this lawyer for Lil Uzi. This was some time ago. Right? I don't was this now, if that was Brittany, that would explain a lot, man. Let me see. Now, is this nah, there ain't nothing else on it.
We were just talking about it earlier. The prettier they are, the more reckless they are. That's why it would be more beneficial, or it is more beneficial to get yourself the most average chick possible.
So it wasn't was it Endgame when Lay, a young and successful lawyer, is left by her boyfriend. Oh no. This is something. She left this lawyer for Lil Uzi Vert. So then Brittany Renner releases audio of her blasting Uzi Vert for cheating. She was with Colin Kaepernick and all of that shit. But just to pull up that shit, right? What I was talking about. Hold on, let me go back. Said, she left this lawyer for Lil Uzi Vert. Focus on yourself, fellas. Focus on yourself. Right? But yeah, I let me share that. So you can see it. But yeah, man. Left her lawyer boyfriend for Lil Uzi Vert. So come on, man. You share that. Here it is. Right? Lil Uzi Vert.
How many of us have an ex-girlfriend that's called us over the pandemic who's not doing well right now? As Kevin Samuels would call it, one of those "hey big head" texts. And you look at them now and like, well, whatever became of you?
Hey big head.
There's a girl on my Facebook page. She was the thin, long hair, nice crack sister in high school. We went on one date the summer after high school, but she decided she wasn't interested. I met my late ex that summer after her. But I run into this chick on Facebook and she's got 3 mismatching kids, all them different complexions, all them different ages. And she wanted to get, but she was getting mad at me because I said something about dating white women. She goes, sellouts like you, or what's wrong with the black community? And I'm like, you could be married to me right now with 3 kids who match.
I just let those types be mad. I knew a chick in college.
But she's blaming people like me, black men who go and do their, white collar lifestyle and date whoever is good for us.
You talk about her kids like luggage.
I think it's funny because
it's funny and it's sad though. Why would you blame guys like me and not blame the guys who knocked you up? Or blame yourself for causing the fire?
I knew a chick in college that said I didn't have game, yet one of her baby daddies put her head through drywall multiple times, but I didn't have game.
Was you putting girls' head through drywall? That where you fucked up at. That where you fucked up? That's where you fucked up at, man.
No,
Yeah,
you could
man.
miss me. You could miss me with that 90s
You gotta,
Love Jones and
man,
Struggle Love.
you gotta up your drywall game, bro. Up your
Yup.
drywall game. Up your drywall game.
Hey, Shane, man, your pimp hand ain't strong, man. Your pimp hand, man.
I keep learning too little, too late. All the pretty ones want to get pistol whipped.
Do you think women from other cultures that are pretty want their men to be a thug, want their men to put them through drywall? It's only our culture.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, man, got to get these women what they want, bro.
No. You don't give them what they want, but sometimes you give them what they need.
Hey, man, it's working for Pookie, man. Look, I suggest all of y'all get y'all jeans a couple sizes larger. Get a little teardrop right here. You know what I mean? Start putting them through drywall, man, and shit'll change.
Get that drywall game.
You know what I'm saying? You know what they like, give it to them. Get your drywall game up, man.
Yep.
Get your game up.
Get some strikes on that criminal record. Let them come visit you and talk to you through the glass. You know?
He's trying to mess up. He's trying to see doing that will mess us up from interracially dating. I'm trying to keep myself as pristine as possible, so I can keep myself open to the highest bidder.
Like, so you want to date interracially? You hate your mama. Who hurt you?
Who hurt you?
I'm just saying, man. That's why they don't. That's why 22. See, the funny thing is, right? Because as much as we talk about single mothers, right, and how we don't want to date them, again, guys who talk like us are the minority. You got a lot of black men who they don't care about. I mean, the guys that they like don't care that they got kids. The guys who will put them through drywall, they don't care they got kids. Matter of fact, they love it. They come and they drink the kids
Capri Sun.
They drink the kids Capri Sun and eat they Franco-American Chef Boyardee ravioli. You know, guys like us, we don't want to deal with that. But the guys they like, that's why they'll have the kids in their 20s, but they won't get married, because once they're married, they can't reap the benefits of all the dates and the gifts and the plane trips and things like that, right? But they'll have the kids because the kids don't necessarily put them out of the game for the men they like. And then when they get older and they decide, okay, I don't want these guys no more. I need these guys. Herein lies your problem. And now you're shaming black men for not choosing you. Right? You're shaming them for, you want to date interracially. Right?
These Asian girls don't have kids. What is it? I think it was something like 7% out of wedlock birth rate for Asian women, but it's damn near 80 for ADOS women. Because these women, when you talk about Asians and the rest of them, they get married early because they would be their custom demands it. They would be shamed to go in the temple. Yeah, their custom is patriarchal. Like. Mm-hmm. Guess what happens when you go in a black church, though, right now? Yeah. Any city that you live in, you get up early enough in the morning, who's jogging? Black men. And what women?
Karen.
Oh yeah, it's definitely Karen.
What white dudes say? White dudes make no apologies about you getting fat. Yeah, they make no apologies about the size of their women. You know what I mean? To the point where when you talk about eating disorders, bulimia, anorexia, you right. Who the first you think of? Karen. Karen is going out of her way to make sure that she's slim and trim.
Damn, you right about that.
Right? You don't see black chicks in the street running. They worried about sweating their weave out.
If I go to the gym right now, it'll be a bunch of middle-aged black men in gray sweatpants and a bunch of white women on the treadmill. You are absolutely right about that. I haven't seen a sister in the gym in a long time, unless she was like 50 and 60 years old and trying to stop from getting a heart attack.
Yeah.
But seeing a 20, 30, 40-year-old sister in the gym, yeah, you're right. You don't see it.
When you look at listen now, check this out. When you look at black women who are seeking white men, what they look like.
Oh, sure. They're always long-haired, thin,
Agreeable, cheery, they're in shape. You know?
Those are the black women. You're like, wait, you ain't from around here.
Target audience, man.
No, he got a point. He got a point. They will look like they date.
Look at Candace Owens.
Candace Owens fine. Oh, well, I'm the only person who thinks she's fine as hell, but you're right. Long hair, thin, agreeable.
You gotta it's your target audience. Meanwhile, Kevin Samuels is making a killing with girls who are calling him, asking for the top black men that don't even look like what these men want. They refuse to do it because even though their target audience is demanding that they look a certain way,
they don't
understand. Black men don't. The majority of black men don't make the unapologetic stance of refusing some of these qualities. We again matriarchal minded. We allow for too much. We talk about thick, right? And I don't like skinny women, right? Per se. We know how we like our women to look, but at the end of the day, we allow, the out of shape and this and that. We allow for too much. And a lot of this is because we have been told to treat these women like our mothers.
Some of the stuff that we try to look for in black women, especially when we're young, we don't know what to look for. We go out and we start vetting for wrong information. We're looking for, do they got their real hair? Are they educated? All this superficial stuff. And oftentimes we're not thinking about, is this woman first and foremost respectful?
But we're not. Listen, women are given more instructions about life than we are in terms of what we need to look out for. I was talking to a kid, he didn't even know what the definition of alimony was. And he was in his 20s. Damn. This is recent. I had to explain it in New York. I had to explain to him. He's like, what's alimony? And I looked at my man. I'm like, are you serious? This kid don't know what alimony is? He didn't know what alimony was.
But peep this. Did our grandfathers know all this deep intellectual stuff to look for in our grandmothers? Or did they just pick the girl who was cute and they got along with?
No, but our grandfathers didn't. No, that's a different time. They didn't. Listen, our grandfathers didn't deal with these modern women. I'm not saying that these attitudes didn't exist, but at the end of the day, they dealt with women who were kind of stuck with them because the environment of the country, women didn't have the options that today's women do. Our grandfathers didn't deal with women who in their 20s could be single and getting flown out and all of this shit. It was a different time. And me and you we just discussed this on the Bit of Truth Show channel, right?
Yeah. To run around.
Yeah, so they didn't have these options, and a lot of these grandmothers and these women from these previous generations are envying the modern women's options. But again, that's why these women don't get married young, because of black men kind of, is take it or leave it. And our women have told us take it or leave it. That's why you can get on a dating app and see a woman with a full pregnant belly, right? Talking about what kind of man she want. And we a package deal. And, if you don't like it, keep it pushing. Don't hit me up. I want serious. Like they're talking as if they're a catch. And when it doesn't work, they'll just say it's the men. They'll blame the men. They're not going to blame themselves because they've been told that they could come like that and we have to accept it. You can't go anywhere else where this takes place. Nowhere, no other culture. You talk about Asian women, ain't no Asian woman on Plenty of Fish or any of these other dating sites pregnant with three little Asian kids talking about I need an Asian man who got to accept me as a package deal with my little 3 Asian kids. This doesn't happen.
Now, where does the ball drop at, you guys think? Because if you notice, speaking of women of different ethnicities, whenever you find a woman from another ethnicity that interracially dates, she's always too heavy for the men of her own culture. It's always a thick Asian girl. It's always
Not
a thick
always.
No, that's not always.
Mhm.
But I'll say like this. I'll go through my Facebook page tomorrow, and I bet you I won't be able to find a single white woman who dates black men that didn't grow up in the hood, likes hip hop, or is overweight. Like, you're not gonna find a pretty, thin, suburban raised white girl, shops at Aeropostale, listens to, I don't know, Blink 182 or whatever. And
I might be in the
like,
minority of that. I don't know if you ever hung out around Albany, New York, but
I already have the answer, but go ahead. I'm listening now. I'll answer that question easy.
okay.
The price is always higher for black men, and that includes black women. All right, black women, and Cortez says that's not true. Let me break this down, right? White women who can get white men will get them. Make no mistake, in this environment, all women know who the high value man is in America, right? Let me say this also. All women default to their men first.
Right.
If they can't get their men, then they jump, right? Now, Asian women, there's this myth that black men date. I've heard Umar say it. Black men date out of their race at a higher rate than that's bullshit.
Asian women have us beat.
Asian women and white men are the largest interracial pairing in America.
Yeah.
Because Asian women are more feminine than white women.
Oh shit. We going there? Wait, what woman is perceived to be the most masculine though?
You already know.
Why y'all gotta give me that look? I'm just setting you up.
Bro, I've come up with this thing. I ain't get it from nowhere, and I'm gonna say it in this video. There's this thing I call, the hierarchy of masculinity, right? And the top is us. All things being equal. Because when black men have white men's money, they can get anybody they want.
I'll definitely agree to that. When people say that black men are the most wanted, I don't agree. It's the top end black men that every woman will pick over their own. And
that is why we are the problem. That's why there's always been an effort to keep black men out of the top earning or being able to provide for women, because we are on the hierarchy of masculinity. We are number one. White men ain't even number two. It's black women.
I can't with you.
And what happens is, right? I want y'all to peep me with this theory. This is revolutionary, right? Y'all ain't never heard nobody say this. This is all me. Men date down the hierarchy of masculinity, and women date up the hierarchy of masculinity. So black women choose black men first, right? Right? White men are below black women in the hierarchy of masculinity. That's why they go there after the fact, right? Now, white men don't choose black women to be with because they are lower on the hierarchy of masculinity than black women. They date down the hierarchy, and Asian women are below white men on that hierarchy of masculinity. And that's why, right? And mind you, white women are above Asian women on that hierarchy. Right? So white men will skip past white women even to go even deeper. To be honest, I would say Asian women and Asian men all the way at the bottom of that hierarchy of masculinity. That's why Asian men, and somebody try to, everybody like black men are the last. No, they ain't. Asian men are the ones that we consider to be the least masculine, at least the perception, right? Of all the races of men. Latino men are higher on the hierarchy than Asian men.
Statistics back that up on dating sites. Asian men are the least chosen.
Yeah.
Next to black women.
Yeah. If I had to go try to get a PhD, that would be my dissertation. I'm just saying, yo, we are number one. All things equal. All things equal. Black women, and not only that, even within our group, they choose the thug street dudes because they are the perceived highest. They're on the hierarchy of masculinity within the racial group. Women will always seek men that are more masculine than they are, and men will seek the women that are the least masculine. Right? So Lionel says, so with your logic, is it our fault that our women are so masculine? No, it's not our fault. It's like Kanye referenced Jay-Z. He said, talking about crabs in a barrel, in the behavior of crabs in a barrel. But then he says, you can't tell me about the behavior of crabs in a barrel. Crabs don't belong in a barrel. It's not their natural environment. So they're not going to act like they would if they were in the wild. Right? We are in a barrel. So who put those crabs in the barrel is what Jay-Z said. Who put them there? So you can't put black people in a barrel and then look at them like, y'all malfunctioning. Well, we don't belong in a barrel. So it's not the fault of black men and women in the barrel who put them there. Right? We're in America. America's the barrel. So is it our fault that our women are so masculine? No. It's like the study that I read. Lionel, you jumped in after I read the study, and they link things back to slavery. Understand, we are not, we were removed from that, right? If you look at all the cultures where women defer to their men and then they're submissive to their men. Understand this, right? And this is something else that a lot of people don't say. In America, who are our authority figures? Our authority figures are white men. When you look at the police, the judges, people who give out the work, all of our authority figures are white men. When you go to Latin America, you go to anywhere outside of this country, you go to Europe, their authority figures look like them. In Italy, the authority figures are Italian. In Asia, the authority figures are Asian. In Latin America, the authority figures are Latin American. They're Latinos. It is only in America, in the Black community, that we deal with authority figures that do not look like us. So our women defer to authority. And they defer to the authority figures. We aren't the authority figures here. We in the barrel with you. Right? So we can't demand the respect or get patriarchy from women when we are not the image of authority in America.
Even if you marry them, they have that attitude.
You ain't my daddy. First they say, well, you ain't put a ring on this finger, and then if you do that, you ain't my daddy. There's always another box to check.
See, I would co-sign that, but this community of ours, in this nation of ours, it's now more than two races. There are other ethnicities in this barrel with us. And if all the other ethnicities were behaving like ours, our women, then I could say, okay, it's being in this barrel.
They don't have the history. Understand this, right?
They don't have the history or the culture.
They don't have the history. We went over this last time. There are only two cultures in the United States that are matriarchal. It's the Black community and the Native American community. And there are only two cultures that are severely fucked up with high baby mama rates and low employment rates right now, and that's ours and the Native American. So
in the Native American,
they're prisoners of war. Still.
But they've been in this environment. Understand that the Native Americans have been here longer than us, right? So and look what happened to them. Now, what happened when the Italians come here and the Asians come here and all these other men from other places come here? Do they go through what Black people and Native Americans have been through?
Nope.
No, there was no government agenda to hold back none of these people we're talking about.
Just us.
There's no COINTELPRO. There's no J. Edgar Hoover for Asians. No, they don't have the history. Now, mind you, Chinese people came here. They said they built the railroads and this and that. I'm not saying that white America didn't exploit these people, because they did. But there's no agenda to give Asian women higher incomes or to reduce the image of Asian men to their women. There's no agenda to reduce the image of Latino men in the eyes of their women. They came here with patriarchy. It was never beat out of them. They didn't get 50 lashes. These women did not see their men hung from trees. So there was never a thing where the women had to act in a way because they saw their man emasculated. These men weren't emasculated. So let's go to some of these comments because I'm seeing some I beg to differs, right? So okay. So have no matter where you go, women date.
I'm gonna have to drop off, man. So it's been real talking with y'all, but we'll do this again real soon.
Yeah, we're gonna end this soon. I just want to go through some of these comments. Bro, yeah, I see you say you about to drop out. I'm gonna go through some of these comments and then I want to get like last remarks from people because we've been on here a minute. So let's go to, what about Caribbean countries and non-ADOS cultures? Do you see people from Jamaica, people from the continent of Africa, like dealing with their men the way our women deal with ours?
Nope.
At the level that they do? Now, don't get it twisted. Women come from these other places. If they are here long enough, right, they may or they may not. But they don't not respect their men because they never seen their men broken down, right? They don't deal with that. They've never seen it, right? Said the difference is that they came here under patriarchy. Yeah, remember, we came here on the slave ships. The women didn't come here first. They came after. Black women in America were never under patriarchy with their men. It never happened. Everybody else came here with their families on a boat or whatever. They never seen their men broken down in a similar fashion. America did exploit other non-black people and non-ADOS people, but there was no agenda to emasculate their men in the same way. It didn't happen to Mexicans. It didn't happen to Asians. It didn't happen to, even Caribbeans and people coming from Africa. If you're a black person that's not from here, you will be given opportunities that Black Americans won't be given. They don't. And just to respond to this, they don't have the same history as us, right? So let's go here. Okay, who told him natives have those issues? I never met a native single mom, and I lived near DeSoto Caverns. I mean, I haven't. I don't know me personally. I don't know the stats on on Native Americans, right? So China is a hardcore patriarchy. Yeah, it is. That shit is embedded. Asian men, white men praise Asian men in America. They're the model minority, remember? Said the father gets the kids and keeps his property in a divorce. And that's over there. Definitely. They come here with that. Right? They come here with that. I don't even have to mention, Saudi Arabia and anything under Sharia law. I shouldn't have to mention any of that because we know how women come up in that environment. Pimp hand strong. So I wanna get some remarks from everybody. We're gonna start off. Shane, you there or you gone?
I'm still here.
So I'm gonna start with you since your time is going short. Matriarchal minded. What's your last thoughts, man?
Well, with regard to black women, I think the media would have to hit Earth before they even think about wanting to respect a black man, even in the slightest. But even if a meteor were to hit the Earth, they'd probably be like, "Fuck you, nigga."
I think it was progressively by design. All makes sense. Do you think this was all by design? Also, do you believe that it's still being purposely perpetrated to keep us in line the dysfunction of the black family. Yeah. You don't see this type of, and I'm gonna move on to Ian after I say this. You don't see this type of media assassination of character happening with nobody else. It's not by accident. You know, how many, you know, how much do you see it? You know, you don't.
They relish being disrespectful though too.
They give black women platforms like Fox Soul. So Fox cares about soul now. Fox. Where's the Fox black man panel that speak black men's issues? What major media platform do black men have to speak about anything concerning black men? Doesn't exist. You could turn on Telemundo, right? The Asians got their own channels and shit like that.
Our was the closest thing, and then that changed forever.
Ian, what's your man?
Yes, sir. All I gotta say is, man, get your drywall game up.
You ain't shit. Yeah, with you.
But yeah, this is going this matriarchal mindedness is going to continue to be perpetrated, perpetuated, because what you're looking at, you know, to some degree, you know, black women are consumers, you know, and as long as black women are aspiring to be patriarchs, white supremacy can continue to sell them shit. You know what I'm saying? And so white supremacy is going to continue to empower them so black women can buy shit, you know, and at the same time, but here's the caveat: in order to uplift black women as patriarchy, as patriarchs, there has to be a reduction of black male masculinity. So this dynamic is going to continue to be pushed, if for nothing else, for economic reasons, because they want to keep getting that money from these chicks.
You know, while I think that the money is a benefit, I don't think that's the primary objective, because because racism doesn't care about money. At one, you know, we getting thrown out of Starbucks, thrown out of this and thrown out of that, and you couldn't, you know, black people were sitting in places fighting for the right to be served. You know, food that they would have had to pay for. They ain't even want your black money.
That's
right?
true. Yeah, that's true.
Lionel, follow the channel. We talk shit here. We talk some shit here. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to, you know, Lionel, man. Thanks for joining us, and thank you to BGS for bringing people here. You know what I'm saying? We kick the real shit, and we talk some shit. But
hold on, man. You just shot down my whole closing argument, man. I got
continue.
I ain't got none else.
Nah, man. Nah, you got it. You got it.
Oh shit. All right, let me think. Shit. No, man, goddamn, that was my go-to right there. You killed it.
What your drywall game?
No, the other one that you debunked my economic.
Oh, you talking about the money? No, yeah. Look, they'll take your money. I'm not saying it's not. I think it's a byproduct, but I don't think it's the primary objective, because
yeah. I mean, I agree. You know what I'm saying? I just, shit.
But man, also think about this, right? You got more black women in government than black men. Black women are overrepresented in government.
Yeah,
than we are.
Yeah,
more represented in government than we are.
Yeah.
And another thing black women serve is political body, lobby.
Well, if that's the case, then we could look at it. There's a network cyclical network of women empowering women. So they care about the money. You know what I'm saying? So them having the government positions. Okay, so you threw me a lifeline. Okay, so black women, the black women having government positions, they're gonna continue this through the incentive of empowering black women over black men because they want to keep they want to keep black women spending and making that money.
But but also the black women are they're part of the they fall in line. They're part of the agenda.
Yeah.
If black women was on some Angela Davis, Asada Shakur shit, nah.
Angela Davis done flip. So you can't even say as okay, not touche.
Yeah, I was
Angela
gonna say,
Davis got
didn't
them
Angela Davis work for the CIA or some
yeah,
shit?
Angela Davis, she got a white wife. So she's
All right.
she's done.
We're gonna stick to Asada Shakur then. Sani, talk to me, man.
You know, about talking about this matriarchy, I'm a little conflicted because part of me feels like whenever I speak to women of other cultures and you ask them, why do you like or prefer black men? The first thing I usually hear is, we're nice, we're amenable. So I'm dealing with a woman now who's Middle Eastern,
That's code for
and
fetish.
the first thing she says is, "Oh, damn, you do dishes? Yeah, hell, boys in my culture, they'll never do dishes. But if you're if you're a ADOS man, you know your mother's teaching you how to cook. You know your mother's telling you you gotta, do dishes and mow the lawn and take out the garbage. We do a lot of household chores. We're not as tyrannical in a relationship as these white guys and especially these, Middle Eastern and Spanish guys are.
Mhm.
And all that is because we're in this matriarchy. So I feel like the matriarchy is making our women horrible wives, but it's turning us into more desirable husbands. So that's why I'm conflicted. It's good for us and our upbringing, but it's bad for our girls and their upbringing.
Mm.
So which one would be the first to break? Because
Mm.
you don't see like when you see all the white and Puerto Rican girls talking about they want a black guy, they're not saying it because of the skin color. They're not running out to get the African guy. They're not running out to get the Caribbean guy. They're running out specifically to get that brother with the swag who's ADOS.
Mhm.
So it's not the skin color thing like, sisters will tell you, they just want you because of that myth of the black ding-a-lang. Like, well, no. Every time you ask one of them, it's because of how we are in relationships.
Mm. Mm.
So how do you look at the matriarchy? It's good for some of the males for getting a wife, but it's horrible for all of the females for getting a husband.
Now the myth of the black dick could get you some non-black pussy though.
Yep.
Because if that was really true,
Just not.
wouldn't all these Karens be out here going for M'Baku or whatever?
I heard this one white chick on a porno. She said she likes the dick situation, but basically what she said, what she liked most is that she thinks black men were more passionate.
No, what I'm saying is they'll fuck you, right? Now, for the white women who can get their white men, they'll fuck you on the low. I don't know how many dudes in here have fucked with a white chick and heard her say, I've never fucked with a black guy before.
Mm-hmm.
I know I've heard it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I'm gonna pull up this Jay De Niro. Black men are considered domesticated by other cultures.
Yes.
So I agree with your statement. I don't want you to think that I don't. I do. I think that in reference to long-term relationships, facts.
Mm-hmm.
Facts. You know, all this stuff about, black men, drywall game. I would say that non-black women choose better black men than black women do,
Oh shit.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Their ability to choose quality black men
Mm-hmm.
is better than black women's, and black women have the first dibs,
Mm-hmm.
Right of first refusal.
right? Of first refuse. That's what I wanted to say, but I know BGS says that I ain't want to steal
Oh,
it,
copyright.
but it's the truth. Black men want black women first, and if they not the guy that black women want, black women leave the door open for these women of other races who see, like you said, as black men as being more amenable. Because regardless of what these women see on the media and all this other shit, their experiences with black men are what you're saying. Especially these guys that they go to college with, those men that black women want later in life. Those are the amenable black men. Now, it doesn't mean that they won't fuck the thug,
Oh, of course. We
but
got it like that.
but they're not going to marry the thug. Black women want to marry the thug if they can straighten them out long enough, right? But now I agree with what you're saying, bro. Like you said, you wash dishes? Asian man ain't washing dishes.
Sure enough, ain't.
Well, you ain't even never seen that in a movie.
So
Well, yeah,
that's a interesting point, man. So yeah, let's get this like that's true, but the majority these days will fuck and openly date black men even when they have brads. Yeah, man. Like I said, man. These women, a lot of the, and this is what Lionel was saying earlier. A lot of other races of women, right? They tend to deal with black men if they can't snag one of their own men, and that's usually when they themselves aren't measuring up to to what their own men want, or like you just said, if they are looking for a man that's less patriarchal than their group of men. I've dealt with African women who don't want to date African men because their African men are super patriarchal and they're trying to get away from that. So yeah, it kind of works in our favor when we date out. I agree with that.
Yeah.
That was my ex-wife. My ex-wife absolutely did not want a Nigerian man because they're too patriarchal. But she only wanted an American black, and she only wanted an American black man because she didn't cook, she didn't clean. So for a household to function, she had to have somebody like me. I cook, I clean. I don't do laundry though, but I'm an amenable. I was a very amenable husband.
Yeah,
So
they start it off somewhere.
every woman I've been with has said the same shit.
I draw the line at laundry.
Yeah, man, I will draw the line at laundry. I don't
Draw the
know.
line.
Yeah. I don't. When I was married, I don't ever remember washing any clothes.
Yeah, but do you cook?
I didn't cook even though.
You didn't cook? Oh, okay.
No, I ain't fucking around.
That's where he draws the line.
But I'm vegetarian, so the cooking situation wasn't that serious. So
Yeah.
See, you need to switch up and start dating some of these Hindu girls if you're vegetarian.
oh really?
Yeah,
Hmm.
I do. That's
Okay.
the only hang up I have. I'm not vegetarian and they are.
Okay.
But yeah, once you get around here, around the coasts, like New York and LA,
Mhm.
you get these second generation Indian girls.
Mhm.
They can't get the white guys.
Mm.
So what's the next best thing? White collar brother.
Mm.
Hmm.
I'm saying. Get you a brown skin one like Mindy Kaling, a little bit, long hair, a little bit thick.
Yeah. Yeah.
You be all right.
Yeah.
They're like darker skinned Puerto Ricans.
So yeah, Jay De Niro. So other countries see women, other countries women see the black man pimp hand is soft. Shit, the other countries men think our pimp hand is soft.
They'll tell us to our face.
Yeah,
Can't you ever see a sister going off in Walmart and the white guys will look at you like, "Can you get her in line?" And I'll be like, "There ain't nothing I could do."
yeah. If you shit, other
You try to get a black woman in line, the first thing she's going to do is call the cops to win an argument.
other cultures of men look at us crazy in reference to our relationship. Like you can't control your women, especially the Muslim Islam dudes over there. Shit, but
Man, Middle Eastern women will throw a woman out of a 10-story window before they deal with that level of disrespect. Now you talk about drywall game.
these Saudis, they look at it like, yo, we don't want to what y'all the last we don't want to be y'all.
Nope.
Yo, we
I
going
had this African dude tell me that black men don't love their woman because we don't discipline them. Yeah.
You told Harpo to beat me.
You know what? I was in this Facebook group and I had posed a question. I said, "Do you think African people are out of touch with the experiences of African American black men?" And it ruffled so many feathers.
Hotep, hotep.
so
It
yo,
ruffled so many feathers.
it's been real, gentlemen.
All right.
We gonna do this again, yo. Everybody in the chat, man. I appreciate you for being here. Shout out to BGS for bringing the party over. Shout out to T. Hassan Johnson for letting me be the after party. Right? Subscribe. All the YouTube creator language that usually follows at the end of these videos. Like, subscribe, whatever.
Share.
Yeah, share. Yes, please share.
Click that notification icon.
Yes, smash that like button, right? And we gonna do this again, man. I appreciate everybody who participated in the chat and all my dudes on the panel. My man Graves, as usual, Shane and Graves and Asani. Hey man, anytime you want, let's jump on, man. Let's do it. Next time I'll send you the link outright. You know what I'm saying? Because it's always good to have some intelligent cats up here. And shout out to Lionel Irvin. Thanks for jumping in here. Jay De Niro. There's a lot of names up in here. Cortez Smith and Brotherly Love 215. And I don't want to fuck up your name. Akintunde. I don't know if I'm saying it right, man. I don't want to fuck up nobody's name, But everybody, Dave Tao, who's usually one of the first guys to jump in, Brandy, my homegirl, and Patriarch Turner. Leanne Bentley, everybody who jumped in, man, I appreciate it, man. Next time we jump on here, I'll send that notification out, man. We're gonna do this again. We're gonna have fun. We talk our shit, spit your game, talk your shit. This is the Keep It 100 channel.
Get your drywall game up.
Yeah, get your.
Good night, gentlemen.
Watch out for the
Right.
Decepticons. And yeah, man, we out of here, man. Appreciate it.
All right, peace, brother.
Peace.
Holla at me. 100.
100.